Good morning, everyone. Welcome to What, where the music is as hyper as my child. Look who I have today, you guys. Look at who's here with me. You enjoying the music?
I love that music. What?
It's so hyper.
What?
Love it.
What?
It's like if you're not awake yet, you're fucking awake now. What?
You know what's weird? It's like you and I are doing a show and it is still light outside. Are we supposed to be doing news or something? I thought we stopped that. What happened?
No, yeah, we sold our soul to Shane last night, so we have to.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Yeah.
You're right, little does she know that you're Satan.
Yeah, that was we flipped the script. He thought he was buying, we were selling souls, but it was him who was actually selling his soul.
That's right. He's not even watching too, so we can do anything we want. It's like mom's not home and we can get in as much trouble as we want to.
I'm gonna stop you.
Good morning, everyone. We got Les Bones in the chat. I see Warren's in the chat. What's up, Warren?
Hey, that asshole.
That asshole.
You stupid, mommy. You stupid. You know I'm right here.
Then we also, what's up, Marxist puppy, Marxist Leninist. We got a lot of Marxists in here today. Thank goodness we're going to be talking about capitalism. What's up, Amber? Good morning. Hope you're doing good today. Hope you have a nice day at work. Good morning, Yona. Good morning, Holly, Willie. Who else is here? Anybody else that I missed? Ooh, I love trouble. Amber says, I love trouble.
Uh-oh. Well, you're going to get a double today, lady. It's times 2.
Oh no, the YouTube app is crashing. Don't say that. Maybe you need to go into your app store and update the YouTube app. I'm thinking that's what you might have to do.
You know, mine was doing that yesterday because I was watching your show while I was playing Grounded, you know, because you got me hooked on that. And so, but I had it on my tablet, and I would try and play YouTube, and then it would cut out. I had to do it like 2 or 3 times, and then it finally came back on. So,
that's weird.
Tried to deny me my Jimmy.
That's weird.
I said, "Fuck you, science." You know? Then science said, "All right." Watch Jimmy if you want.
That's right. Because me and science get along. So, you know, I'm not like religion where me and science hate each other. So science and I are cool. We're like this.
I'm glad you have your giant hair bun today, too. That's nice.
Yes.
That's like a UFO hair bun. I like that. That's like some...
It is.
You know, like...
It's floating on my head.
Take me to your leader. Bun. You know I like me some hair buns.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I'm going for the Anna bun today. I didn't feel like washing my hair last night when I showered. I was like, fuck lifting up my hands above my head.
The Anna hair bun is it's pulled tight, so far tight, and if you let it go, it would just like this hair would whip at you and like hurt you.
Well, her face would probably turn into like one of those like Shar-Pei puppies where it's like all wrinkled faced and shit. So like
maybe that's why she has the hair bun, because her shoes look like her face looks like a catcher's mitt.
Yeah, so she's got to like stretch it all back so it looks normal when she's on screen.
What do you think, Jank?
Exactly.
I don't know what that was.
We got Les Bones already in the chat talking grounded shit. Raw science.
Raw science.
I think he's just as obsessed with the game as we are.
It really does play to your fears, though, of like, because you don't think of like insects or anything, creepy crawlies being like a threat. No. You know, just more of an annoyance. And some of them, I'm just like, I mean, I'm not like scared to death of them, but I would just rather them like go away, just go away. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't want to hurt you. You really don't want to get hurt. You know, let's just have a little peace accord here. But in that game, it's like, all right, motherfucker, you know, you got to kill him. It's kill or be killed.
I can't wait for you to play with Shake and Bacon. He's like our fearless leader in there. If he's in the game, we're killing things. It doesn't matter. Like, 2 days ago, me and Les Bones killed 2 wolf spiders. And then yesterday or the day before, me, Les Bones, and Shake and Bacon went all down those logs where all those orb weaver spiders, just like one right after the next. And we killed like 5 in a row. Shake and Bacon just doesn't care. He's like, spiders, let's kill them. I'm just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that was fun. That was Sunday, right? When it was at Sunday?
It was sometime this week. All the days are so mushed together because of that damn game. Time is irrelevant. Like, I'm worried more about the hours in the game. Like, we've got 2 in-game hours until we can do this. And then by the time I look at the real clock, it's like midnight already. I'm like, fuck, where'd the day go?
I deforested half of the solo game I'm playing. I swear I took out like half of it to make this mile-long bridge to nowhere. I mean, it was all day too. It's a total time suck, but it's
Yeah.
fun though. I like the
That's
build
what's so
stuff.
fun about it is, like, you find one little project to do, and it takes 2 to 3 real hours, like, real human hours to do it. So it's just, like it's really fun because you just find something to do, and it takes you a really long time to do it, so you've got a project, you feel like you've completed something, you feel justified in what you've done. It's really neat because it just kinda, like, bears you down into something to get done, and I really like that.
It's fun. I
It
totally
is.
love it. Thanks for turning me on to that. Thanks Les Bones too. Les
Yeah.
Bones said, Here, have this game." I said,
Mhm.
"Okay, I guess I'm playing this now."
Yep.
So,
We wanted you to play so
remember initially when I started playing it, it was like, "Oh no, I'm scared," and I kept dying. I think that was like 30 seconds in, and the wolf spider was coming after me. So
Yes. Yeah, they do that. They like to show you at the beginning of the game about what you're about to deal with.
it was a yeah, that was a poop in pants moment right there. So because that thing was
Mhm,
huge, it was like "Rah!" It was like, and I had to hide inside that machine, and that thing
mhm,
was like trying to get at me. I was like, what the fuck kind of game is this? It's,
mhm.
it's y'all trying to murder me in real life. So
Abso-fucking-lutely. That game is such a
I'm at
fucking
the
blast.
I'm at the garbage dump, by the way. So
That's right.
somebody
Yes,
threw
I
me
love
out.
your background today.
Somebody threw me out, and you know, because so I'm hoping somebody will adopt me and take me to their forever home.
Aw,
But
I
we'll
will adopt
see.
you.
Aw, you gotta come pick me up though, because you know, I'm, I can't. I'm kind of stuck here in
In
the
the
somebody
dumps.
threw garbage around me. Yeah, I can't get out. So
You're
you have to
fucking with the seagulls.
hold your nose and pull me out.
Well, the universe does offer free kittens for people, so I definitely could adopt you.
I'm a cat. See, look, this is how I clean myself. Lick, lick, lick. Yeah.
That's right, that's right. Willie Bragg said Anna gets angrier when her hair bun is tighter.
If she was playing Dungeons and Dragons, she would have a +3 hair bun of harming, and it would destroy a necromancer, but it probably wouldn't destroy a half orc. Sorry, a nerd.
Oh, I love it. Meow One says the spiders were probably poisonous. Absolutely. They're all poisonous.
Yeah, they deserve to die.
Yeah, we're getting to a
Yeah.
point now where we're not even scared. It feels like the wolf spiders now are, like, pretty equal with us. Like, we're not afraid of the wolf spiders anymore. We're out there killing fireflies and bees now. I think our next big fear is going to be the praying mantis. I think that's our next big scary one.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it yet. Does it just like appear later or something? Or
It's in a special area you have to go into to find it. He's a boss.
oh shit!
Yeah, that's
Because
gonna be
if it's a female, it'll eat the dude, right? Because that's
it
what they
wants
do.
to.
The girls eat. So it's got to be a chick, right? It's got to
Yeah,
be a chick praying mantis.
yeah, because it's big.
Wants
It's a big, big girl.
Yeah, because in
Hell
real
yeah.
life they're huge too. And the male praying mantises are like, I would like some sex, please. And she says, all right, that's fine. And they do the deed. She's like, I would like to eat your head, please. And he's like, wait, this wasn't part of the bargain. Ah!
Oh, my dream life.
Tragedy in the animal kingdom.
Oh, that woman is life goals. What are you talking about?
First we go fuck, and then I'm gonna eat your head. I was like, damn, this sounds like Mississippi.
That's right. That's right. Do I need to go to
I knew a few,
Mississippi?
I do a few crackheads like that. It's like we're gonna have sex, and then I'm gonna eat you. Like, whoa, okay, all right. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Oh, Amber says, I love bugs. I couldn't do the game. Yeah, you will. You would end up falling in love with all of them. Like my little fat boys, I hate killing them, but I know I have to eat them. I'm so sad.
Yeah, it's
They're
sad,
so cute.
delicious.
They make the most adorable little sounds. They're like,
Bugs are all cute. until they bring the murder, and then then the cuteness kind of wanes.
Yes.
Since you're fighting for your life, more or less.
Yes.
Anyway, I digress.
Okay, Lesbones had to go over to Twitch. Is YouTube really bugging you out today like that? That sucks. Boo.
It seems to be working on the desktop. Okay, so it's probably just the app.
The app itself, yeah. It says YouTube keeps crashing, but it's working for everyone else. I'm telling you, go into your phone app and see if it needs an update. Usually it's an update that it needs. Okay. Are we going to get started? It's only 10:16. We need to talk more. I need like 20 more minutes of talking.
This show is wild.
I know. And this is what helps me not get freaked out and terrified of my own show. I'm just like, we're doing it live, motherfuckers. What do you want? Good morning.
Kitty! Oh, sweet baby. Is that Burton?
No, that's Mama.
They look exactly alike.
I know. The only way I can tell the difference is because she's smaller and his hair is fluffier, like longer. That's the only difference. Is his size now? Is he's bigger than her? Amber.
He's such a Leroy Jenkins.
What? Oh yeah, that's right. Brandy was there with us on Saturday. I was like, how does Brandy know about Leroy Jenkins?
Well, she plays World of Warcraft, so she'd probably heard that story a while back.
Oh yeah, that's true. See, it's so new to me. I'm like everybody knows this except for me. I'm so shocked.
No, it's fine. I mean, that's why we had to introduce it to you. So
I know. Should we play it? It's so fun.
Complete your gamer cred.
Leroy Jenkins. No. Oh, I found it.
I got chicken.
I found it.
I got chicken.
I found it. Here we go. You guys want to see what Leroy Jenkins is? It's probably the best gaming video ever that I've ever seen. Brandy says her husband has the t-shirt.
Nice. I didn't know they had t-shirts.
Me neither.
Okay, guys. These eggs have given us a lot of trouble in the past.
That's me right there.
Does anybody need anything off this guy, or can we bypass him?
This is me right here.
I think Leroy needs something from this guy.
That's me.
Oh, he does without shoulders? Isn't he a paladin?
Definitely Leroy.
Yeah, but that'll help him heal better. He'll have more mana.
This is me and Lesbones getting prepared to go into battle.
Well, what we'll do, I'll run in first, gather up all the eggs so we can kind of just, blast them all down with AoE.
No, wait, that's shaken
I will
bacon.
use Intimidating Shout to kind of scatter them so we don't have to fight a whole bunch of them at once. When my shout's done, I'll need Anthony to come in and drop his shout too, so we can keep them scattered and not have to fight too many. When his is done, Bass, of course, will need to run in and do the same thing. We're going to need Divine Intervention on our mages so they can AE, so we can, of course, get them down fast because we're bringing all these guys. I mean, we'll be in trouble if we don't take them down quick. I think it's a pretty good plan. We should be able to pull it off this time. What do you think, Abdul? Can you give me a number crunch real quick?
Yeah, give me a sec. I'm coming up with 32 points.
If you notice really quick, I didn't notice it till right now. Right next to Leroy, it says AFK. Does that mean he stepped away for a minute while they're all preparing?
Yeah, I guess so, right? He's the only one that's AFK.
Yeah, it says AFK right next to his name right there. So he doesn't even know that they're planning. That's why he ran in like that.
Repeating, of
totally
course, percentage of survival.
Oh, it's a lot better than we usually do.
All right, thumbs up.
Ready, guys?
Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins!
The guy that just ran in.
Save him.
Oh, geez, stick to the plan.
Oh, Jesus. Let's go. Stick to the
10
plan, Jeff.
minutes
Stick to the
later.
plan.
Oh, gee. Oh, fuck. Give me Divine Intervention. Hurry up.
Shout.
I can't cast. I can't move. Am I lagging, guys? I can't move. What the hell? I can't AE. Oh, my God. The eggs keep spawning. More respawning. I don't think you can cast with that shit. Oh my god. Shout.
We got him.
Take it off. I got it. Take it off.
Come on, down.
These
Oh my
poor
God.
guys. They're getting their asses
God
handed
damn it,
to 'em.
Leroy.
God damn it.
Leroy, you moron. Leroy.
Jimmy.
This is
I'm on
ridiculous.
it. Don't mess. I'm down. Forking down. God damn. This is I got killed before I could
We
leave.
died on this. God. Oh,
See,
Spiffy, res us.
Why do
Spiffy,
you
res
do
us.
this shit, Leroy?
I'm trying.
Not my fault.
Who's soul stoned?
We do have a soul stone up, don't we?
Anthony, do you got soul stones?
Warlock.
Oh god.
Oh, for
Great job.
For Christ's sake.
They're all
Leroy,
dead.
you were just stupid as hell.
Open on.
At least I have chicken.
At least
There
I
it
have
is.
chicken.
We can have chicken.
That
Legend.
makes it even better, the fact that he was AFK during the whole strategy talk.
He had no idea that they were planning this shit. He's probably taking a dump or something. And then he's like, he comes back and he thinks they're waiting on him. So he's like, all right, let's go. And then he's like, Leroy Jenkins.
Yes. That is totally me and Les Bones preparing for a fight, trying to figure out what we need to be able to battle these guys out. And then you just come in, let's fucking go.
Carpe diem. Carpe diem.
And we're all at the top of the tree like, no, wait, don't go. And then you die and we're like, see, I told you.
That's how you learn, though. That's how you learn. But I bet you they're really, they got to be really good friends with him, because I mean, if they didn't like him, if they knew he was gonna do shit like this all the time, they should have just let him in there, just let him go in by himself, and then he could die, and then they all settle down, and then they could go in with their plan. They said, no, we got to go in. One goes in, we all go in.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
legend.
Absolutely.
He was a legend.
That's what we got to do, though. That's what you have to do with your teammate. My cat is trying to eat my cord.
Yeah, kitty.
She keeps attacking my headphones. Brat. Okay. Brandy says we have to play WoW with her. I've never played WoW. I've known a lot of people who have, though.
I think it's I don't know. You haven't played any of those games. You never played Diablo or StarCraft or anything like that, right?
No.
I think WoW is kind of like Diablo 2, maybe Diablo 3.
I played Diablo 2 a little bit. Like the beginning, a little bit, a lot of it. There's just, I think what I did is because it's so open world and it doesn't tell you where to go. I got myself into an area that was way higher level than I was. And I was like, how the fuck do you even beat this game? I don't know where to go. I got lost and I was in just dying everywhere. I was like, all right, I can't do this.
Yeah, it's I used to play for hours on that, and that was back in the 90s too. So that game is old, but I played Diablo 3. It's just like a much more, better graphics, more polished version of Diablo 2. And there's they were I have it on Xbox, and I think they were constantly updating it too, like putting in free areas and stuff, because there's people you beat it take you a little bit, but you beat it, and then you start over again with the same maps. It's just harder to do the next time. So you do that 2 or 3 times till you get to the nightmare, the nightmare realm, where it's just almost impossible to beat. And then after that, you're basically done with the game. So with Diablo 3, they started adding in more content, so you wouldn't get bored with the game easily. But Diablo 2, it was the 90s. They couldn't do that shit. So unless you got it on disc or something, but they weren't gonna do that shit. So.
Yeah. I love those games. I could never, they're always too big to scare me. So I love the MMO type games, the multiplayer RPGs, kind of like WoW. It's just, I've, for one, always been terrified of playing with other people, because I've always heard people are really mean online. So I'd never played with people. And it's just so big that it was intimidating. So I always went for the smaller versions of those type of games, like the Fables I got into recently, the Assassin's Creeds I really like, or the Horizon games. It's kind of the same where it's open world, but it's not as huge, you know, it's as big. I mean, I played the space one that we play, No Man's Sky. That one's humongous. Like, you just never stop.
Yeah. And it's not really scary, although there are scary aspects to it. Like if you you're on a planet or something, there's some animals that will actually attack you. They're carnivores that will like, and you don't. If it depends. Like if you're playing third person, you know, I guess you can kind of see around you. But if you're playing first person, you can only see like wherever you're looking, and then all of a sudden you feel this thing and you look around, it's this ugly giant thing trying to eat you. So it kind of, especially if it's dark too, it's just like, it's a little creepy, but it's fun.
My fear of that game is because as a human, we don't go into outer space. It's the space part that scares me, like going into a new galaxy and then there's just these huge planets that are far off in the distance. That scares me, just that huge open space, not knowing what's around you, and these gigantic planets that are bigger than you could even imagine. Like, you think they're big, but once you get up closer, they're fucking bigger than you think. That scares me in that game. But that's my favorite part too, is just hopping galaxies everywhere. So
yeah, it is pretty cool. Yeah. And Hello Games really did a good job with No Man's Sky. It is the one of the best turnarounds in gaming history, I think. So because when it came out, it was just garbage. It looked nothing like they had promised. It was buggy as hell, and people just started shitting on it from day one. So they, instead of them trying to make excuses and whatnot, they didn't do any press or anything after that. They went radio silent for like months. They went in and they fixed the game, and then once they fixed it, they started adding all these DLCs to it for free. And to this day, I don't know. I haven't played it in a minute, but I don't think they charge for DLCs. So if you get a new DLC for it, it's usually just an update, you know. And they've added so much to the game too. There's so much you can do in it now.
Yep,
it's really incredible.
Les Bones, I don't think that the game is going to ever go on sale. I waited a while and it never did, so I just ended up buying it. I think you just have to, if you want to get it, you're just going to have to get it as is.
Yeah, I think you just have to look out for sales, because sometimes you know, they'll have like some sort of, I think I'm not quite sure when I bought it, it was on sale, but that was a few years ago. It was just starting to get better at the time, because I'd seen like the videos, like the trailers for the game before they released it, and it looked amazing, and I love like space sims like that, so I was like, oh, I'm definitely getting this. But then I had to wait. I didn't have the cash to get it right away when it got it, and I don't usually buy games super brand new anyway, because they're always going to have like a day one patch for it. So you know, I usually just wait till they work the bugs out, and then I heard how bad it was, and I was just like, So about a year later, though, I bought it. I think it was on sale. It was like $39.99 or something. That's okay. I'd heard better things about it.
Yep. My favorite thing to do is to go into the main space station where actual real people go in, and I'll just sit up by the front and just sit there and hoe myself for about 2 hours and get free things from people.
She does. You a straight up hoe up in there. You just sitting there and people just giving you shit.
I got us some really cool alien ships because of that. Okay.
Thank God for incels that play video games, right?
That's fucking right.
They're good. They're good at the video games, and they always have extra shit that they want to give away to the ladies. Because I remember trying that stuff too as a dude, and now it's like, no dice, man. You get nothing. I think I got like a feather or something, some bullshit like that. I was like,
you got to think girly when you go in there. Make sure that your outfits colors are girly colors. That's why I wear pink and white, so people know I'm a girl. And then I bring out the cutest animal that I have and just let my cute little animal run around. Super girly. People know I'm a girl and they're wanting to give it to me, whatever it is.
Yeah, but you're an actual girl though, because like, you know, I feel like I'd be catfishing somebody. You know, I'd be going there, you know, look, it's like Bugs Bunny in a dress, you know, everybody, you know, these people in the cartoons are just like, man, they're stupid. It's a rabbit. This is a dude rabbit in a dress. How do you not see that? And he'd be like, hey boys, and they're ooga ooga.
Have you seen the VR world where people are actually in VR and stuff? Like their characters in there, they'll make them look super sexy, like cute little anime girls, and then you'll see a real picture of them and they're, you know, some big old dude in his grandma's basement type thing. They do it.
Right.
They do that shit all the time.
Looks like the comic book dude from The Simpsons, you know, it's got like the 3 hairs across the top of the head, you know, it's large. Yep. Always has a big gulp in his hand.
But in VR, he's a cute little, you know, anime girl with bunny ears and bondage clothes on, doing pole dances for dudes in the VR world. I heard the girls and dudes are actually doing that in the VR world and are making a buttload of money. Like it's actually a job in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know.
That's crazy how that works.
I know. I'm like, I want to do it. That would be so fun. But I would do like a sexy girl Donald Duck or something, like where it's really sexy, but then like the face is just ridiculous, like Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck or some kind of weird shit that doesn't go with the body. That would be me.
But you know that catfishing has been going on for as long as the internet's been around. You know, they were doing that stuff back in the bulletin board days, you know, when you didn't have any, it was just all text, you know, and someone would say they were a hot, you know, Asian chick or something, and it was just like some dude in Cleveland in his basement, you know. It was like, you know, they've been fooling people for years like that. You know, so you know, but see, you're an actual attractive lady though, so it's not catfishing. You're just making game money. You know,
but in my head, it's a type of catfishing to me because they don't know that I'm a pretty face. So I don't even like let them, like, I wouldn't even let them know how I look. Yeah, it'd be like catfishing the catfisher, and then catfishing that one. It's like a catfish, right?
Yeah, a reverse. No, it wouldn't be a reverse catfish. That means they'd be catfishing you.
Right. So I'm catfishing who thinks that I'm catfishing that I'm not catfishing.
People will probably think you were catfishing until they actually saw you in real life.
Exactly. That would be my point. Yeah. I would never let them see my face. I would send them pictures of like dudes that I'd find on the internet. Be like, this is
because that's what everybody does. They'll see like like some little anime, you know, hottie thing in a video game that somebody's playing. And nowadays people would say, oh yeah, that's probably a dude. That's probably a dude, you know. Yep. So,
and my name is Jimmy too, so I can get away with it too.
Yeah,
absolutely. That'll be fun.
Your deception knows no bounds.
That's right. Cave Socialist. Oh, you like GTA? GTA is all right. I've never played it online. Have you played GTA online? You play it online on your gaming thing.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like it at first online because it was like, you know, I didn't know what I was doing, and of course, it's like this chaotic hell on earth. There's like all these mods and stuff that, you know, you'll be driving along and all of a sudden this windmill comes out of nowhere and knocks you off the road. Like that's not in the fucking game, like, you know. So if you like played like the regular game, like not online, you know, it's fun. You know, you do like missions and stuff like that. It's pretty fun. But then you get online, it's just anything goes. You have missions online, but you know, it's not integral to playing. You could just drive around all day if you want.
Yeah, it's mostly like
whatever
stealing and bank robbing and stuff, right?
Yeah, it's like a sandbox. Is that what it's called? Where you could just do basically wherever you want. You don't have to adhere to any like storylines or anything like that. So yeah, and then just people just get on there and just kill each other. That's all they do.
Yeah. The one time, because my kids play the GTA online and they let me play it really quick because I wanted to see what it was like. And I was trying to get a car on the freeway from just, you know, an NPC just trying to steal a car. And an actual person came up to me in a DeLorean and just opened the door, didn't say anything, no words, no nothing. So I get in there and I was like, all right, I guess we're going for a ride with this person. I don't know who it is. and his car started flying in the air like a real DeLorean, you know, like in the Back to the Future movie would. And so we're flying through the city area, going like in between the city skyline buildings and stuff. And then he opens the door and he kicks me out and I fall to my death. And I was like, I don't want to play this game anymore. This is not nice. He like took me up into the air just to kill me.
There are griefers on that game too that are just out to ruin anybody's good time. But I tell you, I don't think of the last GTA stream I did. I think Yona was on there too. He wasn't playing, but he was in Discord while we were playing. And there was a kid on there. You know, he said he was 18 years old. Isn't that real nice kid? And we ended up like me and I think it was Propaganda was playing in there too. And so we ended up all just like going around and doing missions and stuff. So there's nice people in there. There's cool ones, you know, but there are dicks in there for sure. It's just like real life. There's nice people and then there are assholes.
Everywhere.
They're everywhere. Those
Everywhere.
assholes. Just have to watch out.
Lesbone says, remember Pointy? What is that?
That was the guy. That was the kid. That was the kid we met. Yeah. Oh yeah. Because Lesbones was in there too, and it was this guy. It's like it's out somewhere out in the desert. There, we were at the airstrip in the desert, and we got out of the planes and we were walking around and he's just pointing at us. He just kept emoting with the point, you know, he just kept pointing at us. Pointing back. And then I can't even remember the kid's name, but we just called him Pointy the whole time.
I think I was watching that stream because he didn't say anything. He just kept pointing at things.
I think you were in Discord too.
I was hanging out with you guys and I was playing another game while you guys were playing with them. I remember that.
Pointy.
You guys remembered his name and everything.
I gotta admit, I totally forgot his name. It took when Les Bones said Pointy, I was like, wait a minute. Oh yeah, the guy who points. I guess that's how he says hello. He just, you know, hello. You know, he's just Pointy.
Oh, that's so cool.
He's great with directions because he knows where to go. You go that way.
That's right.
That way.
Oh, Brandy says she's been on VR chat with her hubby. Okay, I was playing Assassin's Creed. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, I was there, but I was playing another game. That's right. Was that the first time you talked to me, Les Bones? Jesus Christ, you got a good. Swear to God, Les Bones has such a good memory. I don't remember shit.
Well, he's not a stoner.
That's true.
That's the thing.
That's very true.
He'll have his brain cells for the rest of his life. He's going to be like, he's probably going to be the last. Once the apocalypse hits, he's going to be the last one standing. He's going to be the historian who remembers the old days and tells the new generation of three-eyed children, you know, how people only had two eyes back in those times.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I've never done the VR thing. I've done. I've seen it. Like I did the cheapy one where you put the phone in the cardboard thing and put it on there. I did one of those. It was okay. That was pretty cool. But do an actual like VR, one of those headset things, I'd be kind of scared. I'd probably get motion sickness and throw up.
For sure would. Yeah, definitely. I couldn't do it. I've seen people falling over and like busting shit with it while having them on. I was like, I don't want to do that.
Well, I definitely wouldn't stand up with it. I'd have to play driving games and just sit on the couch and just do this with my hands to make it look like I'm driving.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Can you play GTA 5 in VR? Do they have that hookup? I don't know if they've got that or not. So.
I have no idea.
They may in the GTA 6. I'm pretty sure they'll probably have that in GTA 6. I would definitely do that. What's up, Shake and Bacon? I see you in the chats.
What's up? You get dizzy in VR, right?
The bacon has come home to roost. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know.
I do the same. Like I don't get like the motion sickness like Brandy or like the dizziness, but I definitely get like the vertigo feelings. Like if you were really there, the stomach feelings that come with it. And I don't like that.
Yeah, that's the one thing I'm like. I like kind of realistic looking games. I like really good looking graphics and stuff like that but to be actually up in it, I don't know. That might be a bridge too far for me, you know.
Mm-hmm. Can you for Grounded? You can be a first person in that. I wonder if you can put VR goggles with that. Ugh. Could you imagine fighting a spider in VR goggles? Ugh.
I don't know. It's scary enough, especially it was at night and there was like critters like stink bugs and spiders in the mix. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, Shaken Bacon, Les Bones is over on Twitch if you want to go and hang out with him. He's by himself over there.
Yeah, go say hi. He's lonely.
Ooh, making homemade wine. Grapes. Are you fermenting grapes? That's interesting. Have you ever tried like the homemade alcohol?
My dad made some one time. We had a black cherry tree out back, and he would gather up the black cherries, and he made it. It was I was a kid, so needless to say, as a kid, the alcohol didn't really taste that good, and I don't think it didn't. I don't know. It was just he would make like his own hot sauce, and he would like take peppers and stuff like that and make his own hot sauce and stuff like that. So he was always just like experimenting with shit like that. He saw those black cherries back there. He said, "I'm gonna make some wine," and we were like, "All right, Dave's gonna be a moonshiner."
That's
And
right.
then he made it. We were like, "What do you think?" Yeah, you know,
It's gotta be sour as shit. Yeah.
yeah, it was. Yes, black cherries aren't exactly they're not sweet. They're not sweet
No.
at all. They're very tart. They're like
Mhm.
little bitty peas like this. And anyway, you don't try, you don't learn anything. So he learned that black cherry
Yep.
wine sucks ass. Or at least he
I had a
didn't.
friend that made hooch in my kitchen sink for like a week, and it was wild to watch like the fermenting, like burping the bag every day and all the process of it. But we had the regular stuff, like just, regular fruits in the fridge and just let them go bad in there and stuff. It was pretty good. Get you fucked up pretty bad.
The process is pretty cool looking, like you said, with the he had like this jar. I don't know, it was like a pretty big jug, and it had like a rubber stopper in it with and like tubes coming out of it, so it could so it could breathe, I guess. And
Mhm.
it looked like a mini still to me, but
Oh, so yeah, you got it all fancy. We just had giant trash bag in my kitchen sink with fruit in it. And we just open the bag every day and burp it.
and it was probably a hell of a lot better than black cherry wine. I'm gonna say that right now. That stuff was just awful. But I wasn't a drinker then. I was like 10 or 12. So
Okay.
I had a little taste of it, and it was just like
Yep.
the first time I ever drank alcohol, I think, well, technically I had whiskey when I was an infant, and it was basically that Dad would take whiskey, and if we were teething, and he would rub the gums with whiskey, and it would stop the teething pain. So that's technically my first taste. But the first time I actually drank it, I was at a family reunion at my aunt and uncle's house, and everybody was outside doing their thing, and I went inside to go to the bathroom, and I got nosy.
My cat.
That cat said, "I want to hear your damn drinking story."
For
But
real.
so I go in there, and I go in the kitchen. I wonder what's in the fridge, and I open it up, and I see this can there, and I thought, it looked like a can of soda pop, right? So, oh man, and it was open. I said, "Oh, soda pop," and I took it because we hardly ever got soda when I was a kid, and so I took a drink. I was like, "Oh!" It looked at it, said Schlitz on the side of it. I was like, "Oh, I've never heard of this soda. This is awful." So, I think it was
Jeez.
like I think it was like maybe 6 or something like that. So
God.
he liked shitty beer. He liked that. We call it shits because if you drink it, it gave you the shits.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't do it. My first drink I ever did was, what is it? Like the 99 bananas or something like that. The 99 something. It was horrible.
I've heard of that.
Yeah. It's like they have 99 bananas. I think there's 99 apples. There's 99 different other fruits, and it's just 99 proof. That's why they do it like that.
Oh, 99 proof. Yikes.
Yeah.
That's pretty potent. What is that, like almost 50% alcohol?
Almost, yeah. My aunt gave it to me during my grandma's funeral, hiding it behind my mom's back. I was like 17 at the time. She's like, you could do this.
She had a little flask, you know, she's just like.
No, she took me in the kitchen. It was a bottle under the kitchen sink that she hid and brought it out for us to try it. Yeah.
That's like wait, what was it? Was it liquor or what was it?
Yeah, it's liquor.
Like a fruit liquor?
I don't know. It's got to be vodka. It has to be vodka, I believe.
A flavored vodka, maybe?
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. This was like back in the early 2000s, so.
Yeah, they were making all kinds of crazy stuff like that. Like it was like on the heels of like Mad Dog, and you know that was the thing. You'd say we lived out on the highway, and you'd look in the ditch, and inevitably every so often you'd find an empty bottle of Mad Dog. So you know somebody was just drinking on the road and just said zoop, just threw the bottle out.
Yep.
It's like, okay.
First time you ever got drunk was Fireball. I'll drink Fireball like it's fucking juice. I love Fireball. That shit's way too good. It tastes like those Red Hot candies.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Like the atomic fireballs that you can get, the little candies, the red ones. It literally tastes just like that. There's no fucking difference. There's no harshness of alcohol because the cinnamon in there kind of like takes away a lot of the harshness of it. Man, that shit is amazing.
Yeah, cinnamon overpowers a lot of flavors like that. So
yeah.
What was that I had? It was we were talking about this the other day when we were playing coquito, right?
Yeah.
The coquito, the Puerto Rican eggnog, which really isn't eggnog.
Mm-hmm.
That's another one that see, I like the coquitos, and I like the White Russians too, because I'm a little bit racist.
I love White Russians.
But I've never had a Black Russian, only because my dad would kill me. No, I'm kidding. So, but I don't even know what a Black Russian is. What's in a Black Russian?
I've never even heard of a Black Russian.
There are Black Russians.
Well, I know there are people that are Black Russians. I was talking about the drink.
I'm talking about the drink too, silly kid.
Oh, okay. I have no idea. Is there a drink called Black Russian?
Yeah, it's a Black Russian. Let me see if I can.
Way.
Yeah, look it up.
Black Russian. You're fucking right. There is a Black Russian. No fucking way. Hold on, I'm sharing it. Look at that.
Let's see. Oh, it's Black Russian is a cocktail of vodka and coffee liqueur. It contains 50 milliliters of vodka and 20 milliliters of coffee liqueur. Yeah, so that's a Black Russian.
Wow. Well, I would end up turning it into a White Russian anyway, because I cannot have straight up black coffee. I would end up putting like 30 milliliters of creamer in there with some sugar.
Well, it's not coffee; it's a coffee liqueur. So you'd have to. It'd be something like oh shit, what is that? Kahlua or something like that. So it'd be like Kahlua and vodka. So, and pro tip, Kahlua and French vanilla ice cream, if you make it into a shake, delicious.
Ooh, A
It's a
shake.
good holiday drink too. It's like the poor man's coquito. So
sounds delicious.
But don't skimp on the ice cream. Don't get that. Don't get the shit. Go get some Bluebell if you got it, because Bluebell.
Oh, you have to get a specific kind of ice cream?
Well, you gotta get. You can't get the Food Club, or the the Vaughn store brand of ice cream. You find the best, like French vanilla, is even better, and homemade ice cream, homemade vanilla ice cream is even better. But that's work. So
yeah,
you get the Bluebell ice cream, and then put some Kahlua in there, and then mix it up. And you got your nice little shake, and it's like you feel. You taste the ice cream, and it's a good blend with the Kahlua in there, and you kind of get the nose opens up a little bit from the alcohol, so it's just like, oh, it's really good. But coquito, oh my god, put some rum in there. Was it rum and coconut milk? I think. Oh my god, it's really good. So
okay.
I want a drink now. It's daytime. Let's drink.
I know. I'm like dying for a White Russian now. That sounds bomb as shit.
Gonna be this day drinking. Woo!
I don't like vanilla ice cream though, so I don't know. I'd have to find a replacement for that.
What's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Chocolate. I don't like vanilla because I heard that the vanilla bean or something like that, the vanilla flavoring is linked to beaver balls, and it's gross.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Beaver balls?
Hold on. Vanilla flavor beaver.
Does it give you beaver balls?
Yeah, beaver's butts emit goo used for vanilla flavoring. That's why I don't eat vanilla.
That's got to be an urban myth. Come on.
That's on National Geographic right here. Look, nationalgeographic.com, Fox News, Huffington Post, Vice, A History of Flavoring Food with Beaver Butt Juice. Yeah, it's real.
Well, we'll get the ice cream that's made out of the bean and not the butt.
That's why I don't like what is it? There's a certain kind of oil as well. I think it's like coconut oil or some kind of oil. I don't touch that as well because there's like a specific tree that goats go to and eat the stuff off this tree. And so when they're on the tree branches, they poop. And whatever is like dropped down as poop, the people gather it up and then they use it for something else too. And I can't remember what it is. I think it's some kind of oil.
Now I've heard of this specific coffee that they'll let cats eat the coffee beans, right? And then they poop out the beans, and then they take the beans out of the poop, and then they make coffee out of that.
Yep, absolutely. I think that's the same with the oil thing as well too. The specific oil. It's been. I mean, you got to think. There's been tons of like foods that have been used for animals. I mean, I even remember like the movie Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls, when he wanted to try guano and he ate it and they're like, oh, it's bat shit. So it's been around. It's been around.
I don't know why anybody would eat guano. Is that you'd have to be bat shit to eat bat shit.
Yeah. But it is kind of curious to try, though, because if you think about it, bats, like if it's a fruit bat, they never eat anything but fruit. So wonder what it would taste like if it wouldn't be that bad because their digestion is different than ours. Like, is it all just, did they take all the nutrients out and they're just shitting out the gross stuff and we're just eating it because it tastes good and there's no nutrients? Is it nutritious?
It's still shit.
I'd be down to try it. I don't know. If Ace Ventura can do it, I can do it. That guy talks out of his bumhole.
He ain't even a real character. Don't be doing shit on the movies, little shit eater.
If it's good and I'm in like Africa or something and they're eating it, I'm gonna try it. So
listen, you need to loosen that hair bun because that tight shit is making you want to eat shit. The fuck, man!
You could have waited until I swallowed my coffee. I almost spit it out.
Oh, that's what you get. That's how lessons are learned, lady. Little shit eater.
The
Woman
shake and bacon
should.
says I'd rather just eat the fruit.
Right? Yeah. Cut out the middle person. Cut out the bat and eat the fruit and
Can
not
I
the
have the
fruit.
bat though? I want the bat, but I want the bat.
That's what Batman eats when he's on the run. He eats bat shit.
Well, his cave is full of it, so.
He pulls it out of his utility belt. Surprisingly delicious. Tastes like fruit and broken dreams.
That's right. That's right. Okay. All right, we've talked for an hour. I think we've talked long enough. Which one do you want to go which one do you want to talk about first? Because it's all sad.
I don't know. My senses are dulled here in the garbage dump. So, you're the host.
Fuck you, Les
roll this
Bones.
boat.
Fuck you, Les
You ain't
Bones.
doing nothing on this show. This is me the whole time. Delightful.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. That's the spot. What happened? Wait a minute, what?
Okay, let's see if we can find something that's funner.
Damn, I just had lunch. I could go for some bat shit right now. Thanks, Jimmy.
So gross. You're the one that said you could go for some bat shit right now.
I wasn't thinking that like an hour ago.
Oh, okay. Are we ready? Because I'm not ready. I'm ready. I'm not ready.
Nobody's ready.
Nobody's ready.
This is a pointless venture. What were we even thinking about getting up this morning? That was stupid.
No, yeah. And I'm not even going to try to clip this shit out today. It's just going out as a full 3-hour video and that's it. It's staying this way.
Give yourself a break today. Enjoy yourself.
That's
You're
right.
gonna be playing games anyway. You're not gonna have time to clip. So
exactly. All right. So this week, I guess yesterday, the Respect for Marriage Act has passed, and this lady is going to talk about what's in the Marriage Act, and then we'll talk about something funny right afterwards.
To have and to hold from this day forward. I'm Mary Claire Jelonic, and I'm a congressional reporter for the Associated Press. This legislation is dubbed the Respect for Marriage Act, and it would basically put into law that same-sex marriages and interracial marriages are legally recognized nationwide. It's really a protective measure in case the 2015 Supreme Court decision, Obergefell versus Hodges, were to be overturned by the Supreme Court. It is a measure of protection because the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade last summer, and Democrats have been concerned that there might be efforts to overturn other protections that the court has decided on in recent years. The bill is on a glide path to passage. There was a procedural vote last week where people sort of made their intentions known, and 12 Republican senators did vote for it. And supporters expect that there might be even more when the bill does come up on the Senate floor. This is really almost a kind of stunning development if you consider where the politics on this issue were even 10 years ago. But if you look at public attitudes since the Obergefell decision in 2015, they've really skyrocketed. I mean, it's now around 70% of people approve of same-sex marriage, which is much higher than it used to be, including a majority of Republicans. There are certainly still Republicans who oppose it. They say it's either unnecessary, or they say that they're concerned about the religious liberty concerns, but you don't see the arguments that you did see 10, 15 years ago. And one of the ways that they got Republicans on board is they are amending the legislation that came over from the House, and that will be done when the Senate takes it up. And the amendment would do two things. It would basically say that yes, religious liberty is protected, meaning a church isn't forced to perform a same-sex marriage. No one has to do this, but just that those couples will receive those legal rights. It also clarifies that this bill cannot apply to polygamy, because there were some far-right concerns that the bill could, no states now have legal polygamy. But if a state did decide to pass a polygamy law and allow it, that this legislation would not allow a polygamous marriage.
Ooh, they wouldn't allow a polygamous marriage, though. That's interesting. I did not know that.
Would you want to marry more than one person, though?
That's what I was going to ask you. Like, would you? Because I can barely even handle the one that I have.
I don't know if I want to marry one person. You know, I like to test drive, but I'm not buying that car. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna be driving it around.
That's right.
I don't know what that means.
I couldn't imagine, like, who enjoys sex that much to want to have that many people? Because you have to imagine, like, you got 3 girls. That's like at least 3 days a week that you would, I guess.
I got shit to do too.
Right.
You know,
right.
I'd have to have a job, and you know, I mean, and then what do you go put that on iCalendar? I mean, was that Google Calendar? Who, you know, well, it's Monday night. Patricia is gonna get some Willy tonight, and oh, it's Wednesday. It must be Sandra's turn. You know, that kind of.
Yep.
You know,
absolutely. That's what I was thinking. There's no way, but that's really cool that it passed, though. At least they're trying to do something after the whole Roe v. Wade. I could see how people are getting scared that their rights are going to be taken over, because we definitely are heading towards the right direction in politics. Not like
actually,
but right.
Well, I was gonna say, have they actually passed it though? Did it like pass the House and Senate?
I think so. Yeah,
signed it.
I believe so.
Yeah, because they really shit the bed with the whole Roe v. Wade. You had 50 years, dude, and you know, it wasn't Republican controlled the whole time in 50 years. So, and that was the thing. They were just, it was all a scam on the Democrats' side. You know, they say, "Oh yeah, Roe v. Wade, woohoo! We're not going to codify it, but we're damn sure going to fundraise off of it."
Right.
You know, that was the cash cow. And if you pass it, you actually codify it, you can't fundraise off of it anymore. And that's like the you know, their bread and butter. So now they're fucked. They already lost the House, and pretty sure they're going to lose the presidency in 2024, maybe even the Senate too. I think there's some Senate seats up for grabs in 2024 too. So, you know, that's what happens when you don't do shit. You don't do shit. Got to go.
Yep.
You know?
And the funny thing about this whole thing too was this part right here. So it passed. I believe it was the Senate. Yeah, the Senate passed it. But what was really funny is this little, I mean, it's just showing all the people right here that voted against it, all the nays. But I thought it was really funny was, I was telling you earlier, is Mitch McConnell right here actually voted against it. And he's in an interracial marriage. So this is also about, hey, you two stop fighting. This is also about interracial marriages that passed as well, which I can't believe in 2022, we're still trying to pass this stuff. But I thought it was really funny that the fact that Mitch McConnell literally voted no against this bill, but he has a wife who is a person of color. I thought that shit was hilarious.
Well, it's like the same people who vote against abortion. You know, Republicans are getting abortions too. I mean,
yeah, but you don't have that baby to tell you when it's grown up, like, why the fuck did you do that? Like, how is this guy going to vote against this and then go home to his wife that night? Like, if I was his wife and I heard that, I'd be like, nah, bro, we're done.
Well, she probably knows that it's just a virtue signaling thing. That's all it is. You know, I mean, she's just as corrupt as he is. I mean, if you're going to stay with a turtle like that, you ain't staying for his looks. All right. He is not a looker. I'm sorry. I'm not handsome, but I know he is not. He's definitely not. And it's all political. So they knew they were going to lose this. And so, you know, it was all for the voters. He probably told his wife, "Now, you know, baby, I do love you. And yeah, I knew this was going to pass. But, you know, in order for me to get reelected, I had to do it." Yuck. You know, because he's from Kentucky. Yeah. So, yeah, that yuck. at the
I
end.
kind of want
But
to see what does his wife look like? Have you ever seen his wife?
no, I think I've seen. Oh, that's her. Yeah,
Is that her right here?
wasn't she in Trump's cabinet? I think she was in.
She's a member of
She's
the
a
Republican
secretary.
Party. She is
Yeah,
served in the 18th State Secretary of Transportation in the Trump administration.
yeah, she was the Trump version of Pete Buttigieg. That's her.
Interesting. Where is she? Is she okay? So she wasn't born in America. She was born in Taiwan.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
yeah,
Okay,
and
yeah,
she's
no,
probably
she's
just.
definitely with him for money for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and she ended up being Trump's Secretary of Transportation. She's about as corrupt as McConnell is.
Mhm.
That's two peas in a pod right there.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then it also makes sense as to why she is with him too, because the Taiwan women love American white dudes. I think it was probably from like World War II, that whole thing. But they love the what is it, like the controllingness of white men. They like to be controlled and told what to do and that kind of stuff. So
Right.
that totally makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, those old school Taiwanese folks. Uh, yeah, they're definitely like that.
The conservative.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, so she probably just played along, and even if it failed, they knew their marriage was safe. They people on high office like that, they're untouchable. They're not going to do anything to them. I mean, you have to do something really, really, really heinous, like you get on your cell phone and like, hey, look, pow pow, I'm shooting somebody, pow pow, look what I'm doing. And even then, you're like, well, that's not real proof. That could have been doctored. That could have been a face app or or a face swap or something like that.
Mhm.
They always
I don't
get
know
away.
how she could bang him. Ugh. Ugh. Just his face alone is scary as shit. Like just seeing him without clothes, I'm just like, how do you do that, bitch? How?
Well, the reason they call him the turtle, it isn't because his face looks like a turtle. Oh, piggy time! Yum, 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 yum.
Oh, so gross. But his face does look like a turtle.
Yeah, he looked like he
It's
always
that,
looks like he's smelling shit all the time, like oh my
he looks like the turtle guy, him.
turtle.
That guy. That's who Mitch McConnell reminds me of. Whenever I see him, I'm like, oh yeah, it's this guy. He's the turtle. Right there.
He
Tell
has
me that
this
doesn't look like Mitch McConnell.
I wish Mitch McConnell would wear that suit though, that oversized suit like that.
That would be the best.
Just shave his head. He's like, y'all keep calling me the turtle. I'm gonna be acting like a turtle.
Les Bones, I think she fucking showers with bleach. I would. I'm pretty sure I would. Just bleach my skin every night after touching that fool.
Or holy water.
Yeah, if bleach doesn't work, you definitely need some holy water. Just get religious and see if God will help you.
Well, do they have any children together? Because if not, I mean, it may be just like a marriage of convenience. She may have been like, I don't know how long they've been married.
It looks like he's just standing around with a bunch of other kids.
If he has children.
Eli McConnell and Porter McConnell and Claire McConnell.
Ellie.
$3.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Well, maybe they do have kids together. So she could have done artificial insemination too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, this is a grown-up. I wonder what does Mitch McConnell look like back in the day? Mitch McConnell, 1980s. Oh, he still looks the fucking same. Jesus.
Yeah, he's just a gray-haired turtle now. Back then, he was a brown-haired turtle.
Oh my God. So she fucked him even
Yeah.
when he was ugly like that too. Fuck my life. I was gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and at least make him at least think that he was semi-decent looking back in the day, but nah.
Yeah, he looks like a circumcised penis.
For real.
He really does. Yeah.
He's got so much money he could do something with that neck of his little gobble neck, but he doesn't.
That's his trademark.
But why? Why have that be your trademark? How is that cool? It literally looks like almost a vagina is in the middle of your neck.
There's nothing. That's the thing. He's the antithesis of cool. Nothing about him is cool. So that's his trademark. He is the uncoolest guy out there.
Yeah, but how did he get a wife? That's what I want to know. Look at him.
Just saying, you know, there are a lot of Taiwanese women who are into interracial marriage. You know, and she's probably probably when they got married, he was he was in office back then too. You know, so how long have they been married?
Let's see. Mitch McConnell, marriage date. 1993.
Oh, 93. So it hadn't been that long. It's like 30 years.
That's enough for that daughter that we saw, the Eli person, to be a grown-up. So he probably did have a kid with her when they first were together.
Yeah.
Shaking bacon. How did he get a wife? Answer: money.
Yeah. Yeah, money and power. I mean, there are women who are addicted to those things. You know, they're like,
I
don't
know.
care if you look like a turtle or not. You wield that power.
I know.
You know?
It's so hard for me because I just can't. I'm just like, I look at people and I'm like, I don't care how ugly you or how rich you are. If I can't look at you naked, it ain't happening, bro. Not gonna happen. If I can't even look at your face without getting wanting to throw up, it's not happening.
I don't know. Power and prestige like that are powerful aphrodisiacs to some.
Yeah, she's definitely, you could tell she's most likely a sugar baby for sure. But she's making her own money too, so.
Well, yeah. She's not totally. It's probably more of a marriage of convenience, if anything. Power and wealth in that respect. You know, see, that's the thing. You have
she's from Taiwan, so. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was going to say you have ethics and scruples, so you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't marry somebody just because they were powerful.
Right. It's just like it seems to me like she probably was a sugar baby at the beginning, because if she was from Taiwan and she moved over here to America, I don't know her story. She could have came here with her family or something, but she's obviously an immigrant. So, which means that she can't run for president at all, but she can go into Senate or some kind of lower office. So I'm thinking maybe she met him in Taiwan, they fell in love or got married, and then he brought her over. She lived off of him for a while until she got into the politics, and now she's in it with him.
Could be.
That's my guess. I don't know. That's wild to me. But anyway, he like, no matter what, even they've been together since 1993, he's still voted against the Respect for Marriage Act when he is the one that's going to be benefiting from it.
Yeah, that was all for his base. You know, that's why he keeps getting reelected, because he does stuff for the base there. You know, Charles Booker tried to take him out. You know, at least twice. He went after Mitch McConnell. He ran against him and lost, and he just recently ran against Rand Paul in Kentucky and lost. So, you know, it's that the people are thick down there. They are thick in the head when it comes to Republican politics, you know. And if he keeps delivering this red meat like that, you know, voting against stuff like this that he knows is just symbolic votes, more or less, you know, then he's fine. Now, if they had the numbers, what would have been interesting is if they would have had the numbers to defeat it, would he have voted for it? That's the thing. Because all these cats, they know the numbers up front. They know who's going to be voting, who's not. And so it's safe to vote against it so that you can tell your base, look, I did this. I voted against this for you. Now reelect me. But had they had the numbers, I don't know if he would. That would have been an interesting thing to pin on him.
Yep. That's true. That's true. That's very true. Shake and Bake, you make a good point too. They may be married, but most of the politicians' partners are cheating on them. Yeah, most of them have open relationships. So open marriages.
Yeah, I mean, although Asian women tend to be very loyal people in marriages. I mean, there are some that are going to probably have some side pieces. If I was married to Mitch McConnell, I'd definitely have a side piece. I wouldn't want that catcher's mitt of a person.
Hell yeah.
Actually,
well, I know Melania and Trump cheat on each other because they have an open relationship. So yeah. I mean, if she can do that with Trump, then yeah, I'm pretty sure all the rest of them, Mitch McConnell's wife definitely has got some side pieces for sure.
Yeah. I would imagine a lot of them are that, especially you're in Washington, D.C., and, you may have a home there or something, but probably, a lot of times maybe the spouse lives back in the hometown or something like that. I don't know. That's why I never ran for office or anything not that I thought I could win, but even if I did win, I'd be like, I'd have to hang out with these creeps. So no, thank you.
I know. That was my biggest fear too. One of my biggest fears was when I was running for office, I was like, I'm going to have to go to all these conventions with politicians and I'm going to have to drink because they're all drunk alcoholics and I don't drink. I'm going to be like the lonely person in the side of the fucking convention center smoking a joint or something by myself. It's going to suck. Going out to have a cigarette because nobody else smoked. I'll be like, yeah, fuck you guys. I'm the loser. I know it.
Well, you would have been in the limelight too. You would the spotlight, so you'd have to watch your P's and Q's. You couldn't do you couldn't do crazy shit. Otherwise they'd be like, look what she did. Look, vote her out. Yep. Impeach.
Yeah. Just my mouth alone would get me impeached.
Right.
Oh,
say the wrong thing.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Oops! I didn't mean to say that out loud to people.
Right. AOC got Elon Musk a side piece as a side piece. Oh no, should we show it?
Have you not shown that yet?
On this show? No, I have not.
Why not?
I don't know. I haven't shown it yet. Do we have it? Where would it be?
Hang on a second. Let me.
Lesbos.
I think I still have it.
You sent it?
I think I may still have it bookmarked because I used it. We used it the other night. Remember? A second.
That's what I'm looking for.
Is
it grounded chat?
Got it. I got it. Hang on. I'm gonna put it in your Twitter DM.
Oh, there it is. Oh no, wait, those are the ones that I made.
Yeah, we need to see those two. Here, I just put it in there for you.
Okay. There it is. All right, you guys. You have to see this. This is the best thing ever. All right, here we go. So hot.
I apologize.
That was perfect.
Ugh.
I'm breaking all the rules.
Well, I guess we might make some mistakes. Who knows?
I'm here for it. I'm fucking here for it.
I think one of the biggest problems we have in DC is that everyone's egos are too big.
I actually just prefer to have no titles at all.
It gives me the chills.
You're opening yourself up.
I'm just being me.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Probably the best sexual tension I have ever seen in a video in my entire life. I'm telling you, that shit gets me going. I love it.
There's the you could see like with her with the slow batting of the eye, and then you could, if you notice, like Elon, he kind of like, kind of pursed his lips a little bit, like, ooh, kind of very subtly. It's very subtle.
Very.
Yeah, there's love there.
Yes.
There's love there.
Then here we go. I made a couple more. I actually did my own ones because I'm like, I'm obsessed with it. I think that they should start dating. So I ended up making my own Reface app one. So here you guys go. Enjoy. You're welcome. You guys are the first ones to see this. Wait, and then there's this one. Come on. Oh, it doesn't have sound. Tell me that shit's not hot.
Look at that hair.
I know it. I know. It looks like his actual hair plugs that he really has.
Yeah.
I had to make those because I'm seriously obsessed with that video of him and her. I literally, like, I want there to be more. So I had to go and make, like, them actually touching and then them actually being in bed afterwards. I was like, yeah, this is the porn that I need in life right now.
It's like real life porn, like two people that aren't porn actors, and they meet and then they make porn together, like homemade porn. It's like homemade porn.
Yep.
Really
I've been trying, man. I've been trying to get my husband and like their people. I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, like, the way to make money right now is get these actors, these porn actors, to dress up like politicians that fucking hate each other and get them to bang it out. You have to just do it. It's going to make so much money. It's so controversial. And it's going to make so much money. But then they're like, I guess in the porn industry right now, with the whole 2016 and, everybody dividing between the left and the right, like if you do one thing that like bags on Republicans or Democrats in the porn industry, like those whole entire, like all the companies that are Democratic will like no longer work with you. So it's like, you have to do it like on this, like as a side gig with like some porn actors that are just cool and down to do it. Because if you do it through a company, they're like, no, we won't work with you anymore because you're anti this politician or something. There's super bad cancel culture in the porn world right now.
That's like indie porn. You need indie porn to take up the mantle.
Right. Like Brazzers, get Brazzers to do it. Those guys that like do the porn videos where they find a girl on the street and they bang her in the car and then they kick her back out. Those kind of ones, like the Gonzo ones.
Are those real? Those real? Are those like real? Like,
no, they're not real situations.
Setup, though.
They're not real situations. They're played out.
Yeah, I was about to say, but they're not porn actresses, right? The ones that you found on the street.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it is a made up.
It's all set up, yeah. Because they even had one where these two guys were fishing out in the ocean, and a girl came swimming up to him like an illegal immigrant, and they brought her on the boat and they banged her, and then they kicked her off the boat.
Oh God.
Yeah. Brazzers is brutal.
That's terrible.
I know. Brazzers is horrible.
Back to Cuba you go. Hope you're a strong swimmer, but
right.
But there's what's her name? Who was the chick that ran with she was the VP candidate with John McCain. She was the governor of Alaska.
Oh yeah, the one with the glasses, the don't you know girl. What the fuck is her name?
So was it Sarah something?
Sarah Palin. Yes.
Sarah Palin. Yeah. I remember when she got on the scene, or so I'm told on the porn sites, wink wink, that there were a lot of copycat Sarah Palins doing porn on there too. I think they actually did that. It wasn't Democrat and Republican. It was her with another politician. I want to say maybe somebody was playing Trump or something like that. I don't know, but
okay.
Anyway,
Yeah, they
I
love
remember.
Sarah Palin is so easy to look like because all you have to do is your hair like this and then the glasses. And like almost any female can practically look like Sarah Palin. Because I was dancing during that time and people I would put my hair in a bun and I would wear fake glasses just because I liked the look. And people started calling me Sarah Palin. So I started dressing up in a suit go on stage and dance on a pole and take off the suit and pretend to be Sarah Palin for my set. It was a man, men in 2008 fucking loved that bitch.
Yeah, that's yeah, I mean, yeah, there was like a whole like, I don't know, cottage industry around her, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Yeah, but especially Pornhub. Pornhub was just showing just like half the videos on there. So I'm told, wink, were Sarah Palin lookalikes. So
Damn. That's awesome. See,
the
they need to
fetish.
do it now. It's just everything is so divided and everybody's so sensitive about who not to talk about in politics and porn industry. It sucks now. It's no fun.
I guarantee you, if AOC was a Republican, somebody would be portraying her in the pornos. But it's
sure.
like you said, there's politics in the big companies like that, in the big porn companies. So,
Yeah, it sucks so bad because yeah, they're just really like some of them are really into, there's certain ones because there was, what was it, back in 2017, 2018, they had the AVN awards, the porn awards, and there was a woman that came in with a Trump American flag dress on for the AVN. So they're hardcore. Some of them are hardcore into the politics in there, and they won't work with you anymore if you even say one negative thing about their politician. It's crazy.
that's terrible.
I know.
Politics and porn should be separate. You know what I mean? Like as far as from the business standpoint, it shouldn't like influence your what you decided. I mean, because it's parody anyway. I mean, you're just if you're gonna do that, it's just parody. It's not like you're actually attacking the politician. And if
Exactly.
you can make money off of it too, you'd be stupid not to do it.
Exactly. Especially right now, there's so much money in it, in the controversy of seeing something like that. I just did a news article like a month ago about a politician running out there in New York that made his own porn video as his campaign ad and got so much money because of it and got on
I
the news.
remember that.
Yeah, he got recognized.
Yeah.
If you're going to do that for yourself, imagine what other politicians, people dressing like them, is going to make. Like that's going to stir the pot and is going to make some money. Somebody out there is going to do it. We're just ahead of the time and nobody's got the guts enough to do it yet. So
Les Bone's calling out names. He said Brandy Love is one of them. I know who Brandy Love is.
Brandy.
She's a MILF.
Wait, let me look her up. I'm not good with faces or good with names. I'm good with faces. Brandy Love. Did she wear the dress?
I don't know, maybe. But she's like she's very attractive. She's very like I don't know, she's probably in her 40s, I guess.
Yeah, you could tell. She some about Ron DeSantis. She wants him to run for president. Yeah, she's in a magazine called 40 Plus Busty Erotica magazine.
That sounds about right.
So it's just she literally looks like a copy and paste of Stormy.
Yeah.
I guess that's a lot of the 90s porn girls are just blonde with big boobs.
He's Lesbo says she's a huge Trumper.
So
I guess so. I mean, but Trump and DeSantis are kind of on the outs, I guess, because they're going to be competitors for 2024. So she's going to have to choose between them.
Yeah,
they're not on the same side anymore.
Yeah. Trying to see who was the one that wore like that Trump dress. Was it a Trump dress or was it a American flag dress? Like a burnt up. No, it was a Trump 2020 dress, wasn't it?
Was that a porn star wore that?
I thought so. Was it just a regular celebrity? Oh, it was a regular celebrity, Joy Villa. Who was the porn star that wore one as well? There was like a porn star that wore one. Because God, she even has like, oh, the Make America Great Again dress. And then she even has like a wall, like a brick wall dress. Oh my God, this lady. Interesting.
Built the wall.
Interesting. Yeah, the pieces of it. Wow. I think that would be great though to see a porn of AOC and Elon Musk. I think that would be perfecto. So perfect.
Elon Lust.
Hey.
And
God damn it.
AOC my vagina.
Yeah.
I don't know where that came from.
Speaking of big vaginas, so a man named Stewart Rhodes, I guess he's the founder of Oath Keepers.
You stupid.
I'm done. I'm fucking done.
Speaking of large vaginas.
You can't tell me that this guy doesn't look like he doesn't have a thong on his face. Hold on. Go. Look at that. He looks like a giant vagina.
Oh, is he wearing a thong? Oh.
Get it? It's a thong.
He said he's gonna keep an eye out for you. You what?
Just one.
Just one. That guy was probably a Fed too. All those guys. Look at that.
I want to know why he has an eye patch. I was watching videos of him last night, and he didn't have an eye patch on like 10 years ago. Like, what the fuck happened to him? Does anyone in the comments know?
Maybe he was doing porn and someone shot semen in his eye, and then that was it. You know,
Yeah,
it happens. I've heard. Right?
It happens definitely.
You know, it's just like, it hurts, it burns. I gotta get my eye up.
Yeah, the only thing I got was it's from an old gun accident. That's all I heard. So maybe he just doesn't.
Old gun.
Yeah, he wasn't holding the gun properly because he doesn't know how to hold a gun, and it just like bah, shoots right into his face and it hits him in the eye.
Old gun accident is slang for geriatric sex in a airport bathroom. That's what old gun accident is.
Okay, that makes sense. That absolutely makes sense.
Your old gun, but you can't. You're Republican. You can't do it at home, so you have to go to the airport.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So I guess he is guilty. Everybody that was doing or that was getting or in court for this were all found guilty. I guess they were part of the January 6th thing. That's pretty much the gist of that. I kind of wanted to watch the videos of him, like to see who he is, because this shit's wild. Like his wife and like his own son actually talk about the life that they lived with him, the whole like, you know, prepper life and growing up in the prepper life. So let's watch.
January 6th, we watched that. I knew he'd be there. Wasn't sure how much of a role he would play in it. And I saw some footage of what's now known as the stack. I knew immediately before I zoomed in that was Stewart and that was Oath Keepers.
Oath Keepers founder Stewart Rhodes will stand trial alongside 4 other members of his militia group. They're the first January 6th rioters to face rare seditious conspiracy charges.
My name is Tasha Adams, formerly Tasha Rhodes. I am the estranged wife of Elmer Stewart Rhodes, the leader of Oath Keepers.
I'm Dakota Vaughn Adams, born Dakota Stewart Rhodes. I lived absolutely under the thumb of an emotional terrorist.
And it was just so intolerable. It was just a dark and depressing existence.
I feel every bit as completely ridiculous wearing this right now as I ever did.
Getting out was was one of the hardest things. And really, up until we got out, we did not know if we were all going to get out alive.
I was the last of all the children to see Stewart for what he was. I was the last child to maintain any kind of loyalty. Among my earliest memories was I startled Stewart while I was waking him up, and he snapped upright and drew a folding knife on me when I was, I think, around 4 years old. I grew up absolutely believing in Stewart's vision of the shadowy, malicious, communist conspiracy seeking to institute a new world order. And Stewart's actions to selflessly save the country and stand up for America and the Constitution made him a direct target of these people. Stewart's obsession with preparing for the apocalypse was his only hobby, his main purpose in life, and consumed our lives entirely. We ended up living off of these survival storage items. The family lived off of exclusively oatmeal and apple chips for months at a time because that was the largest amount of bulk stuff that we had.
It's really hard to articulate the despair, what it feels like to feel helpless.
I am coming to terms with the full reality that I did not have a father growing up. In practice, I had one parent and a dangerous obstacle.
It's so sad to watch when I was watching this last night, just to sit there and watch him personally, the kid, because you can tell he's very reserved, very quiet. You could tell, like, throughout his whole childhood, he was dominated by another male in the house, seeing him as a male as a threat, and him having to kind of docile himself. Like, if you think of it like in the animal kingdom, his dad would have ended up probably, if they were lions, his dad would murder him because he's another male in the area, even though he would not be old enough to be able to leave the pack. You could just tell. It's like my own psychology thought stuff comes into my head, and I just look at the way he talks and the things he says, and I'm like, man, you've been put down by a thumb your whole life, just the way that you're portraying yourself. It's really sad to see that.
Yeah, I knew kids like that growing up whose fathers were like that, very domineering and nice as kids too, but a lot of times when kids get in that situation like that, with a parent like that, they end up like turning into trouble later in life. I mean, this kid seems like he's okay. I mean, but that's probably because thanks to his mom,
Yeah, his mom helped him get out of it. It's going to come up in a little bit.
Stewart was a disabled veteran. He had broken his back in the military. He was talking about starting an organization for military veterans, police, people who had sworn the oath. He was in a manic mode, and he would do that sometimes. He would sleep for days, and then he would just get crazy about something and type for days. A reasonable person would probably say, well, I'm going to take my baby and go sit in the living room somewhere. But he would get upset if I tried to do that. I would have to stay in the room with him. So I'm trying to get this poor baby to sleep with this blasting music. And he kept saying, wait till you see what I wrote. That was the night he typed up the 10 orders we will not obey. So he posted it. And it had gone viral by morning.
Stewart Rhodes is the founder of the Oath Keepers. Do you guys have the current firepower to stand up against the federal government if you people are ordered to do those things?
It's the obligation all of us have who have sworn an oath to support and defend the Constitution. And so what we're calling on active duty military and police to do is to simply stand down and to refuse to comply with unlawful orders.
Oath Keepers catapulted from a draft blog post from a guy who's on the verge of being evicted for non-payment of rent, whose children don't have any food, to being a national news figure.
There's no expiration date on that oath.
Stewart Rhodes, the founder. Stewart Rhodes, the founder of Oath Keepers.
Oh, he got on Alex Jones.
As time went on and Stewart's apocalypse fantasy became more and more prominent, he would begin to turn Oath Keepers into a roving anti-government private army.
Which there's tons of those. You know how many people have those kind of groups? Like lots of your Republican, conservative, old white dudes like spend the weekends out in the middle of the forest with their friends pretending like the apocalypse has actually happened. Like these preppers are everywhere. There's so many of them.
Yeah, there was like those guys in Montana back in the 90s. That was the
Waco. Or Waco, Texas.
Well, there was Waco, Texas, but there was also I can't remember the name, but they were in Montana, and the government went after them too, and they had like a big shootout and everything. Yep. The 90s were like very prevalent with those kinds of either religious nuts or like, people who were prepping for the end of the world. And they knew the government was coming to get them any time,
Yeah. Cults, pretty much. They're all cults in a way.
Ruby Ridge. That's what I was thinking of. It's Ruby Ridge in Montana that they went there after.
Okay. Yeah, they're pretty much all just cults.
Yeah.
Good morning, really John. Good to see you.
Hey, John.
Stress in Oath Keepers, military, current serving, and law enforcement for a reason. Because we know that if the day should come in this country when a full-blown dictatorship would come or tyranny, we know that it can only happen if those men, our brothers in arms, go along and comply with unconstitutional, unlawful orders.
Part of me was like, maybe this is a thing that will fix him, because he kept saying the reason why he loses his temper, the reason why he's violent, the reason why he acts like this is because he hadn't found his path in life. And I needed to help him find his path and heal him, and then he will stop acting like this.
That's such an abusive relationship right there. The only way that he's going to be happy is if he finds his path in life. She has to help him and heal him so that she could be happy. It's such an abusive relationship. It's horrible.
Part of me thought, well, maybe this will help fix whatever it is that's wrong with him.
Horrified as I was by the coming apocalypse, the potential of Oath Keepers to mitigate or prevent this was a spot of hope for me. I had a childhood set of body armor. We sporadically attended tactical training while Stewart mocked me from the sidelines with his copy for not being a well-drilled Minuteman.
I feel every bit as completely ridiculous wearing this right now as I ever did. I feel a lot of conflict over these guns. I have absolutely no idea whether I like shooting or like being a gun nerd, because every experience that I've had with shooting or firearms related activity has been some kind of Stewart or Oathkeeper activity and has been thoroughly unpleasant.
Poor kid.
There'd been a gradually growing awareness that my home life was not okay. In particular, with Stewart getting increasingly unstable when he was at home and seeming to regard me as I got older as a rival male in some weird way, like a rival male authority in the household that had to constantly be kept in check. And I also saw how, especially if the apocalypse was not actually happening, then all of this was pointless. The way we lived was pointless. The plan took a solid 2 years of effort, which is something that anyone should keep in mind the next time somebody is talking about a domestic abuse case and says, why didn't they just leave? 2 years of planning.
It was just so intolerable. It was just a dark and depressing existence, and very hard to remember that there was life outside of that house. Getting out was terrifying, heart pounding, adrenaline racing. Our plan was to leave early in the morning, and early morning comes, and the kids and I are all exchanging glances, and Stewart just went into manic mode. At the time, we were on 20 acres in the middle of nowhere. So finally, we came up with the idea that we were going to take some major appliance we had that was broken, take it to the dump. We also wanted to take a couple of those rifles, to sell. Dakota had it in his mind that we should take his favorite rifle, which I think was some type of sniper rifle that he didn't even know how to shoot.
Like, my family's anxiety is ultra spiked because I am taking a risk, but it's a risk that has to be taken if we're going to be able to afford to go through with the divorce, and it's already been filed. When he was focused on something else for a few seconds, just walked up with my mom staring at me the entire time, picked up this rifle, turned around, and carried it out the front door, stock folded to make it more compact, and just pressed against my body like this so it's concealed in front of me.
They just walked right past him with that rifle. I had never been so afraid of anything. And we all got in the car, and then Dakota started to drive off, and Stewart stopped us just as we were leaving. And I could just remember seeing the girls' eyes just bug out.
My younger siblings all ducked down in the back seat because they are not supposed to be. Nobody's mentioned them being in the car. And I roll down the window expecting that we've been caught and this is about to turn into some kind of car chase.
And he said, pick up some steak on your way back. And that one moment kind of bothered me because I just saw it almost in a disassociated way of just this person whole life is about to change. He thinks he's going to have a steak dinner with his family tonight, and everything's going to change. Nothing will ever be the same again from this moment on for him. And that was certainly true.
That's crazy, huh? Their fucking escape story is wild to me, how they were able to escape from that. And the fact that he didn't even realize it. Like, he's so involved in everything that he's already doing that he can't even realize that his family is escaping him.
Yeah, and in domestic abuse cases like that too, that's a lot of people. I said, why don't you just leave? I mean, it's not that easy.
It's not.
It's these people. Like the spouse knows people in other areas. It's like if you go, like if you're going, I'm going to go stay with my sister. Okay, he knows where your sister lives. Like the spouse knows all your places that you're going to go to, that so that means you have to go to places you don't know. Which means, that's scary in and of itself. You're going to be in unfamiliar places. You don't really have like a safe place. It may be safe. It's always temporary. I've heard these stories, my whole life. I knew people like that were just under domestic abuse. And it's even though he's not hitting them or anything, it's domestic abuse. They can't live with him. So that's why they're trying to get away. And
yep.
It's just sad that they have to go through all this just to get away,
Mm-hmm. And the scariest part is, they're valid in the scariness of escaping and leaving and being there is scary. But the really scary part is right after they leave and they try to start their new life. That's when the real scary stuff starts to happen, because you don't know who he knows, who he's got eyes on you, having people watching you. He could come to your house and knock on your door without you ever knowing. Like, that's the hardest part about leaving those types of relationships, is the after you've left part of trying to get back to normality somehow without the fear of that person. And it takes a really, really, really long time. I mean, I was never in like this kind of abusive, like to where it's like prepper stuff. But I mean, I've been in abusive relationships, and it took me years just to even make my Facebook private or profile unprivate to make it public, because I thought that he was, going through my Facebook, seeing everything that I'm doing, trying to follow us. Like, I don't even know if he was actually doing that, but the fear of it, of that, it stays with you as a female for a really long time. I still to this day, I don't even like posting up certain things online publicly. Like if I'm going through grievances or problems, I'll just go radio silent because I'm afraid that if something goes wrong, he's going to find out about it and then like call children's services and try to take the kid. Anything could happen. So there's always going to be that underlying fear after you left the abusive relationship, which is the scary, really scary part. So exactly, shake and bake, and you'd always be looking over your shoulder. Yep. For years I did. Years and years I did. It's wild. This poor lady, and she deals with it a lot harder than I've ever dealt with it. Fuck. Sometimes you slip away or maybe just walk away, and then sometimes you run as fast as you can. Absolutely. Yeah. I was able to slip away very nicely. just kind of, I'm going to my mom's. I remember my mom running over my stepdad's foot when he tried to stop her from leaving. Woo. Yeah, I could see that. Definitely.
I had a hard time separating when something bad happens to Stewart, something bad happens to me. And so that was a huge part of like that fear of emotionally, like he's going to be really upset with this. And I just remember just kind of sinking to the floor with my arms around my knees, thinking he's going to be so upset. The days after were almost as bad. We didn't know if he was going to come into the house at night. The dogs bark at something. We think we hear him, think we see him everywhere. I mean, somebody had to stay awake and guard everyone.
I had to switch directly from being effectively a basement neat in a pile of trash and tactical gear to accepting full adult responsibility and taking on effectively a head of household role under the most stressful conditions possible. I found the time and the mental energy to do everything that I could to make sure that the kids got to soccer games and do children's theater and after school activities and get to have to the fullest extent possible all of the normal childhood that I was denied and never going to get back.
He's such a good kid. Such a great kid.
And all of us veterans who swore that oath, until you're age 65, you can be called up as the militia to support and defend the Constitution.
It is hard to put into words what exactly we witnessed today because we've not seen this before.
Priority. We just had protesters. C-circle, breach the line. We need backup.
If it's not going to do the right thing, we're going to just let himself be removed illegally, then we should have brought rifles. Could have fixed it right then and there.
Stewart is on trial for seditious conspiracy. He is looking at roughly 20 years, I believe. He is being charged with trying to essentially delay the election and cause mayhem. And I think that the case is pretty good.
Phone records place Stewart Rhodes on the Capitol steps on January 6, communicating with Oath Keepers before they breached the doors.
Stewart fundamentally saw the continuing Trump administration and Trump staying in power as his best bet.
They charge you with seditious conspiracy as if you planned January 6th.
They're trying to hang this on President Trump and also on the entire MAGA movement. So they have to manufacture a non-existent plot, which is absurd. You know, if you look at the people did that day, that's not an insurrection. That's a mostly peaceful protest. That's what that really was. I mean, there was no attempt to overthrow the government. It would have looked very differently if that had been the intent that day. That's all I'm going to say.
Stewart is helping to spin a narrative in direct contradiction of the plainly evident facts to create a storyline in which he is the martyr he's always wanted to be.
I want him to go to prison because it's the only way we're safe. And that's what it means for me, no child support. It also means if I can't get this divorce finalized, I mean, he's being sued by everyone. He's being sued literally for millions of dollars. I could be on the hook for all of that. It's a difficult situation all the way around, but it's a much, much better situation with him in prison. I'm safer. The kids are safer. And the rest of the country is safer with him in prison.
By joining the volunteer fire department, I had something outside of myself that was not this all-encompassing apocalypse myth for the first time in my life. More than anything else, I saw people who lived up to the endless empty rhetoric that I was surrounded by growing up about sacrifice and civil responsibility. I'd heard all of the words at 1,000 speaking engagements, and joining the fire department was the first time I'd ever seen anyone live it.
Mm-hmm.
The threat of Stewart being able to rebuild his following certainly weighs on my mind. Stewart based his entire identity, especially in founding Oath Keepers, around this idea of service to the United States Constitution, standing up against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And I don't believe in rhetoric anymore, and I believe that any promise is only as good as the intent behind it.
And his lawyer and them did not want to speak. So yeah, that's the story of that. That's so sad, Edward. I don't want to put it up and put you on blast in front of everyone. I accidentally did that with Brandy, and I didn't mean to. And I'm really sorry that happened, but your mom is definitely a badass for that. And I'm pretty sure a lot of us have stories like that, you know, of abusive parents in some way, shape, or form or another. You know, we all grew up in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. So it's kind of prevalent back then.
Yeah, and especially like in poor economic areas too. You know,
Yep.
you see a lot of this. People don't understand, or some people don't understand, that a lot of these domestic problems like these all revolve around a lot of economic problems. You know,
Right.
you know, like especially like in the 70s, in where I grew up in Mississippi, there were a lot of dirt poor people, and you heard of kids at school with, you know, come to school with like black eyes and maybe a broken arm or something like that, because their old man beat the shit out of them, and and more often than not they were all poor, and that you know, that's not an excuse. It's just the way it was just the way it happened. You know, you had these frustrations in these families, you know, where the back then, you know, the man was the breadwinner, right? And if he wasn't you know, providing enough for his family, he wouldn't look into himself to see where the problems lied. You know, he would just take it out on his family, you know. And fortunately I was very fortunate. I mean, we grew up poor, but you know, we grew food for ourselves. You know, we weren't going hungry or anything like that. And my parents made it they made the home very loving. I mean, yeah, there were shouting matches. There was a lot of yelling a lot of times, and it was scary at times, but you know, thank goodness there was no violence involved. But some of these situations like that, that's just, you know, alcoholism gets involved, or maybe drug use too, you know, and all that centers around economic woes too. You know, that's why we have to, as a country, if we can provide the basics for people, a lot of times, not all these problems go away, but a lot of the problems, you know, they tend to end up, you know, being alleviated like that. Now, I don't know in this case, it's if they're going out to pick up stakes, I'm sure they're not. This was more of like a power thing with this guy, right? Because he was the head of the Oath Keepers, right? Is that right? And you know, you get in that position of authority, you know, and then it just bleeds over into your family life. Like, you know, I am the alpha male of this family. You will do as I tell you. And these poor people, they just had to literally sneak away at daylight to get away. And like I think it was I can't remember who in the chat said it, but it's like, yeah, you're always looking over your shoulder. You're not safe till you know that person is in jail or, you know, dead. You know, and even then they have buddies and stuff too. It's just, I just feel sorry for people with those kind of lives like that. You know, it really does break your heart. You know?
Yeah.
Especially when you said that kid, he was like a sweet kid. You know, she seemed like a decent person too. You know, they don't deserve that.
Yep, exactly. And John says must be worse today. We have a lot more poor people, which right. It's not like because we're in 2022 and things have advanced that kind of stuff is gone away. It's a generational trauma that people have to, you know, these kids that are growing up with these abusive parents need to grow up as adults and realize that that's not something they want for their lives and their kids. And then they got to break that trauma. And that's the only way to fix it.
And now a lot of these kids are like the one in the video there. You know, that kid, despite everything that happened when he was a kid, he managed to grow up to be okay. Like I said, probably because of the influence of his mom. But you know, in a lot of these families, you'll have a son like that, and that kid will grow up to be just like his father. You know, because maybe he didn't have a strong, you know, motherly influence. You know, and that may not have been her fault. You know, she was a victim too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's just. It's kind of, yeah. And today especially now with like, you know, prices through the roof and stuff like that. And they said, well, there's all these jobs, but it's just like these low wage jobs that you have to get like 2 or 3 of them just to, you know, feed your family and stuff like that. You know, that's not living, that's surviving. And, you know, I just feel sorry for a lot of these families, the wives and the kids that have to suffer through this narcissistic, you know, power hungry, you know, heads of the family, you know, who've had all this poison put into their heads thinking like they're supposed to be this way. And it's, you know, it doesn't have to be that way.
Yep. Exactly. You're glad you didn't grow up with your father, Les Bones. Your mom didn't have any boyfriends or like get married again or anything. Because see, my dad died when I was 2, so I don't know anything about him. But my abusive growing up was with stepdads. Stepdads were abusive as shit still. They weren't even my dad and they were still abusive. So you're lucky you didn't grow up. Your mother must have been a lonely woman. I'll tell you that.
That's I don't know.
She didn't. Okay.
Like I said, yeah, we were lucky, but we were kind of an exception to the rule in that respect. Because my dad was not he wasn't a narcissist. I mean, he ruled, you know, because like I said, he was old school, right? He was like born in Depression era. My mom was you know, not much younger than him. So that was a different time to be growing up where you had to, you know, that's what you were told. You were the head of the family. And then they got into arguments sometimes too. I think my mom was, we're not quite sure. Dad never got her mental health treatment that she needed, you know, which I totally regret that he never did that for her. So we're not quite sure. We think she may have been bipolar. You know, so she had social issues. She couldn't work at a job or anything like that. So she stayed at home and raised the kids while dad was at work. And there were often times when they would get into arguments, like, and not arguments, just flat out, just shouting matches at each other. And he would say to her, like, you know, you're nothing without me. You know, if you don't like it here, you can leave. You know, we treat her like a child. You know, I mean, for the most part, dad was a good man, but when he would get into that kind of mode like that, that's when there was just like a real resentment, to say the very least, almost a hatred of. It's almost like it was 2 different people, you know. But you know, I learned those lessons from that, where it's like, and I like to think of myself as a gentle giant. You know, I abhor violence. You know, I understand when there is a need for it to protect yourself, but you know, even words, I'm very careful about the words I choose around people, especially loved ones and people I'm with. You know, I'm probably a little over the top, too respectful, and people are like, okay, just calm it down a little bit. You know, you're like, okay, dude, all right, I get it. You're okay. You're okay. You know, but there's always that proving yourself that you're not your father.
Yeah, I had a hard learned lesson about not being like my mom when I was in my 20s, because I grew up like I said, my stepdads were very abusive. There was like one time when I was really little, I was like 7 or 8, and my sister was 6 or 7, and we were walking out of the hallway into the living room, and my stepdad was like pounding on my mom's face while she was sitting on the couch, and he was standing over her. And I remember my mom looking over towards me and my sister and had this scared look on her face, and she mouthed the word. She didn't say anything. She just mouthed it. So I had to read her lips. And I thought she said, "Go into the hall." And so me and my sister, we went to our spot in the hallway. That was our timeout spot. We thought we were in trouble because dad was beating up on mom. So we're like, okay, we're fine. Okay, I guess we're in trouble. We just go sit in the hall until it's over with. And years later, I actually found out that my mom was saying, "Go call 911 and not go into the hall." So we never caught. Yeah, it was like one of my big regrets that I got. But for some reason, like I thought I would learn from that when I grew up, and I ended up being the same as my mom, and had to have like that hard lesson of like, okay, I'm like my mom, where I'm just getting these abusive guys. Because there was one point I was dating a guy, and he was, yeah, like I had already been choked out by him a couple of times. There was just one time we got into an argument, and he was facing away from me, and I was trying to talk to him, and he turned around and he elbowed me in the lip, and I had a busted lip. And we went to like a couple days later, we were going to the grocery store to go grocery shopping, and my cousin was there, and I hadn't seen my cousin in years. And he's like, "Jimmy, how you doing? You know, I haven't seen you in so long." And I was like, "Oh, I'm good." And he's all, "What happened to your lip?" And I'm like, fuck, nobody's ever asked me this kind of question, and I had to like quickly come up with something. And I came up with the stupid excuse of I was carrying something up the stairs to my house, and I fell and hit my face on the door. And at that point I knew. My cousin's like, "No, you didn't. He fucked that. Your guy fucking hit you, didn't he?" He's like, "I'm going to get you out of this relationship." He never did or anything. But at that point, that's when I realized like, oh shit, like I'm literally living that same life as my mother, and I've got to get myself out of this situation, or else I'm going to be dead if I don't. And so that's what I had to get out. It was a horrible situation to even try to get out of. But that's, as a young person, when you grow up, you don't even realize that you have those same kind of traits as your parents who were in abusive relationships. You kind of hopefully figure it out when hopefully not too late. That's the thing. Thank God I was just dating that guy and I wasn't married to him. Shit, that would have been worse. Yeah. Like this lady,
I mean, a lot of times that kind of gets passed down too, because of the environment you're in too. Especially like when you're in smaller communities like that, where you're so worried about what other people will think about you, that sort of thing. That's it. And you're making up excuses so that you don't make things worse on yourself.
Yeah.
And it's just you're just, like I said, you're not living, you're in survival mode, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad you got out of that. I'm glad.
Oh yeah, me too. I'm glad this woman got out of it too, because that's even worse.
Yeah.
Living the prepper life all day, every day. That's got to be hard.
Yeah, I can understand. In this day and age, I used to think it was kind of silly. I kind of understand a little bit of the prepper life, like, the shit could go down, but to take it to that extreme,
right?
And then so it's so extreme that it's affecting your family life like that. That's no good. That's, you can't do that. You're supposed to, if you're doing that kind of stuff, you're supposed to be doing it for your family. And you should be protecting your family on all levels, mm-hmm. not just like, trying to intimidate them and, have your family scared of you. What's the point in that? Why you're just prepping for yourself, then you're not prepping for anybody else. There seems to be an imbalance there.
Yep, exactly. John said his mom tried a new guy, and him and his 3 brothers chased the idiot away. Later realized they made it hard, but she had enough. 8 of us. Dad found his way back to Cuba. Asshole. I often think kids become what they felt they missed from the parents. Yeah, there's like a lot of TikToks about that right now. Like, you like what you didn't get from your parents, and people are like, spanking.
Yeah. Yeah, so when punishments become fetishes, that's a thing.
That's fucking right. That's right. That's wild to me. But that just goes to show that even something as simple as spanking, if you get spanked and you like it as a grown up, what other traits are you gaining from your parents that you don't even realize?
Yeah,
it's crazy. Oh, got one more video for this guy about this guy. Are you good?
I'm all right.
Are you sure?
I'm looking at the chats.
Okay.
I know. I've got my little setup over here, so I'm reading all the chats here. So.
Okay. I know it's sporadic. My show is just a mess.
Jason Van Badenhoek joins us now live. He's the author.
So this is a former Oath Keeper employee who is he's running around trying to sell his book. So he's going on like a book tour, and it's about the Oath Keepers and January 6th and everything. This guy was never an actual member. I think he was just an employee of it, which probably would make it even, I would think it would be a little bit even worse because he's getting paid to promote this. I think he was like the media director. So it's
author of the upcoming book, The Propagandist, Oath Keepers and the Perils of Extremism. Jason, thanks for being with us this morning. Want to take a step back because you are uniquely qualified to give Americans a look and a warning about these organizations like the Oath Keepers. What is, for viewers who may not understand completely, what is the organizing principle of the Oath Keepers, and why was that appealing to you at one point before you left the group?
Well, the organizing principle really, it starts at a national level, and that resides with Stewart Rhodes, who's the founder and the president. Then he does have a board of directors, or did when it was intact. And then there are state chapters broken down even further into county chapters. So it's all kind of one big umbrella that starts and ends with Stewart Rhodes.
And what was the appeal of the message to you? What is the grievance of the Oath Keepers? Why did they storm the Capitol, and why do they continue to this day to threaten various election officials, politicians, media figures, and others?
Well, the message varies. It evolves over time, and it's really driven by the conspiracy theories of the day. So, back when they were first kind of starting out, it jumped off of the Tea Party movement. Then we saw the Jade Helm conspiracy theories kind of really drive some of the messaging that they were doing with the orders they won't follow. We've seen that as they've radicalized more towards a racist bent, that they will not replace us. And we saw them courting people like Richard Spencer. And then, of course, with the just bogus claims of a stolen election.
So it's racist, it's anti-Semitic. They claim to be anti-tyranny. 1776 is a day that was posted, became a hashtag around January 6th. But what for you back then? What was going on in your life? What was the appeal of the message that you just described? And then what made you leave?
Well, I think there's some confusion there. I actually was never a member. I was an employee. Now that's even worse in my opinion, because I was, putting out that propaganda. I initially started interacting with the Oath Keepers when Bundy Ranch happened. I was an independent journalist working for some online radio outlets, and I got embedded with Stewart Rhodes during the Bundy Ranch standoff. Then I was invited back. I drove down to Bundy Ranch with Stewart. I was invited back to the Sugar Pine Mine standoff, and then the White Hope stand.
I'm muted. Oops. Is he saying the Bundy Ranch standoff or the Bunny Ranch standoff?
I think he said Bundy. B-U-N-D-Y.
Bundy. Okay, I was like, Bunny Ranch. I don't know that there's escort girls standing off with some guns.
That's a totally different standoff. Unrelated to all this.
Yeah. The Bunny Ranch standoff is where they all stand there out in front of the bar and you pick which one you want. That's the standoff at the Bunny Ranch.
And then there was a PR statement put out that included my name because I'd helped them out a bit. So I lost my day job and Stewart was there with a employment offer as the national media director and one of the associate editors on the website. And, it was more, it started as more of what he would term an educational outreach. And they really claimed to be not racist in those things, but we saw as he found the membership base could grow and the donations could grow, he more and more courted that alt-right as it kind of came up with Richard Spencer and others, even outright racists. Mm. So it was kind of an evolution. And I walked away because of that radicalization on the racism. I actually had walked into a conversation with some key core members and associates in a public grocery store where we were all living, where they were discussing that the Holocaust had never happened. And I just could not, I went back home to my wife and, my wife's medically disabled. I got 2 kids that are living in a house still, 2 daughters. And then with, we didn't know what we were going to do with the loss of the income, but I couldn't abide it at that point. I just put in my resignation.
So how did you, you're making a distinction between being a follower of the Oath Keepers, a member of the group, and just an employee of it, but certainly you heard some of the rhetoric and you knew what the members were up to. So how did you rationalize working for that group?
Well, again, it radicalized over time. It started off just being kind of very anti-government and then went to the racist side. I've always had a healthy distrust of the government and, so it kind of started there, but as things got more and more racist, I just couldn't do it.
So let's talk about the links between the Oath Keepers and organizations like that and former President Trump and the people around him. From what you know from firsthand, and also if you just speak more broadly, because you were for a time so intimately involved with the group, what was the appeal there? Was this a natural fit between these radical organizations and the former president?
Yeah, it lent to the air of legitimacy. They oftentimes were courting local politicians up in the Pacific Northwest, or were examples of that. They wanted to be seen as aligning with these politicians because it did give them a sense of legitimacy, and that kind of, appealed to the base and appealed to the egos of Stewart Rhodes and other leaders. And, I think Trump really, kind of gave them permission to continue doing what they're doing. And it kind of was, I see it as, as much as they want to message that they're not a paramilitary group or not a militia, they really are. And I think Stewart had always seen himself as being kind of this clandestine paramilitary leader, and having a sitting president, whether directly or indirectly, messaging your group and other groups like yours, I think really fed that.
And we certainly know members were there on January 6th. And the former president, is widely established, sort of gave license to some of this hate crimes spiked during his time in office. So after what we saw on January 6th, we know the former president is considering running again. From what you know, people you still talk to in the world with the Oath Keepers, and would they support him again were he to run in 2024?
I think so. That core base is going to be there. They're still drinking the Kool-Aid. So I think absolutely he'll have support from those types of groups.
Yep.
And there wasn't time at the hearing for you to give an opening statement, but you had written it. So we want to read part of what you wrote. Quote, "It is important for me to be here today in front of the Select Committee because all Americans need to pay attention to the genuine danger that extremist groups like the Oath Keepers pose to us in our society. There have been times when I've personally discounted the reach of this group and its violent messaging. This was a mistake because in the end, they were able to muster a group of heavily armed and outfitted members who'd been trained in modern warfare techniques, including those we now know had explosives, to storm the Capitol to stop the process of inaugurating the duly elected president. We have been exceedingly lucky in that we have not seen much more bloodshed, but luck is not a good strategy for a country looking for better ways to move forward," end quote. So Jason, as we say goodbye here to you this morning, how do you characterize the strength of the Oath Keepers right now? Stronger than before January 6th, or weakened by the prosecutions and the events after?
I think that remains to be seen. I think we're definitely in a kind of a holding pattern. We're seeing what's going to happen with what the DOJ is doing. And either way, there's going to be some questions. If they were able to hold Stewart Rhodes to account, the real question is who's going to rise up to fill that vacuum,
Mhm.
and will they be a leader that's willing to, Stewart was really good at kind of towing that legal line and not crossing it. But if we have a leader that's willing to lead the charge, that might change the dynamic and make things even more dangerous than they already are.
And Spencer, as we said earlier, up on charges of seditious conspiracy now. Former spokesman for the Oath Keepers, Jason Van Tatenhove. Jason.
So that's the guy who used to work for the Oath Keepers. I don't know what else to say about that. I know that racists love Trump. I know that for a fact. So I don't know what else to say to it.
You also got to remember too, like a lot of these groups like that are they're somewhat disorganized at first, but then they're infiltrated by feds, on the, or what we're told that they're infiltrated to keep an eye on them and to eventually bring them down. But what we're seeing also is that, this sounds conspiratorial, but a lot of these conspiracies theories have come true in the last several years, that there are agendas that these groups can be useful idiots for the government if they need something to happen, like a January 6th. They of course they're saying, oh, we were running for our lives and all this stuff, and we're like, no, there was no, the only ones who had guns were the cops, and the cops ended up shooting and killing somebody, one of the people, I can't remember her name, and then they said, well, 2 police officers died, but they died after the fact of heart attacks or something like that. It could have been, maybe January 6th spurred that on, who knows, but if you watch video from January 6th, you'll see that there's video of them just letting people in the gates, right? They're not storming the barricades and trampling over the cop. They're walking in, right?
Mhm.
And they're getting into the Capitol building, and they were taking selfies with some of the cops in there. It just seemed almost like a farce, but the thing is, it's like groups like this they do enough damage on their own, but then you add some sort of like element to where they can be controlled and used for something else. You also have to take that into consideration too. Like this guy, the guy who was the media guy,
Mhm.
he may be playing us all right now. He could be a Fed for all we know.
Right.
That was being useful to the group, or at least coming off as looking useful to the group, but later, coming out and saying, oh, like, yeah, once they got racist, that's where I had to draw the line, so it's,
Right.
I think there's a perception of these groups that one, like the government will have you see them as, but then you'll also talk to people who are like, and Trumpers in general, everybody thinks that all Trumpers are just like these crazy, bloodthirsty psychopaths, and you go to these Trump rallies and talk to some of these people. They're just, some of them have socialist ideals. They don't even, but they can't say it. They can't really talk about it because, like I said, they grew up in these communities where that socialism, communism are shunned, are frowned upon at the very least. And, you could get your ass whooped at the worst, for thinking like that. So it's not all these situations are cut and dried like that. So that you always have to think about the nuance of who's influencing them. Is it the feds? Is it homegrown? Like an organic thing. It's really hard to wrap your mind around sometimes.
Yep. Shake and Bacon says the feds join these groups and are like, hey, fellow racists, I happen to have land, guns, and can provide logistics support.
Yeah.
So fucking true.
Yeah. I can't remember there was like some small faction. They found that, well, hell, I think even at the January 6th thing, there was like, I can't remember who the guy was. And he was like, hey, let's go in there and just destroy some stuff. And they were all pointed at him like, Fed. They were calling him out. Some of those people on January 6th were there not to destroy anything, but were there to legitimately protest, and you know, a lot of liberals will say, "Oh, no, they're all evil." It's like, no, there's nuance to it, and a lot of people don't want to hear that.
Well, that's the problem with America, is that they see a big group of people and then they stereotype or generalize it as the same. If there's like one or two people acting a fool, then they're like, oh, well, they're all like that. And that's the same in everything. When you think of, you know, gender, skin color, jobs, whatever a person is doing, like they're automatically stereotyped into whatever that is. And so that's what they're doing with the January 6th, even though there was a lot of just, you know, nonviolent people there that were just wanting to protest what was going on. Because there was a small group of people that were violent, they're just generalizing the fact that everybody in January 6th were all violent. That's just what America does. So,
well, I think Shake and Bacon says it best. Said the Michigan governor attempted kidnapping was done by almost all feds. That's the case I was trying to think of. Where it was like there was more feds than there were like just regular people, you know. So, and why are feds involved? You know, if feds are involved, it's not to take down anybody, because they would have stopped them from doing January 6th in the first place. They wanted that to happen, you know. And look what the Democrats did afterwards. They were just like, oh, you know, and then some of the milquetoast Republicans that went along with it too were just like, oh, the humanity, and it's like this was I was scared for my
life. I had to go hide behind a locked door. All of us did, sitting in this room by ourselves for hours. We were terrified for our lives. Yeah, I remember all of that. AOC reminds me of like a mass shooting. We had to go hide.
And she wasn't even she wasn't even in the same building. She was like in another building or something. It was like she was totally away from that, you know. She was afraid they were going to get selfies with her, and you know, or try to date her. They were going to try and date her. You know, that's what she was really afraid of. But you know, it's all these control mechanisms, all this rhetoric to use to control people, especially when you're doing a shitty job. And everybody knows the Democrats. I mean, I got no love for the Republicans either. I think they're trash too. I think I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. But to say that the Democrats, maybe when I was younger, they were a little better, but nowadays it's just like, no, they're just trying to control the narrative too and make you think a certain way so they can get, you know, keep power. You know, it's all about power, you know, all these situations. The guy who's the head of Oath Keepers, it was about power. The people that used January 6th as an excuse to crack down on people, that's all about power, you know.
Absolutely. You call it a riot because that's all it was. Pasta was there. Pasta obviously. I know.
Hey, white dude, fucking white people, man, I swear to God, they're the worst. Oh Jesus. Yeah, they were actually there. Yeah. So I mean, I listen to people like Pasta and Fee and those who were actually on the ground and were videotaping it, and they were talking to people and stuff like that. I trust them over anybody else. Like as far as, you know, because they got no agenda to lie to people about that kind of stuff, you know, and that's why they get shadow banned on the social media and stuff like that. You know, it's just we were talking about this the other night. Me and Misty were about how these people are just trying to tell the truth, and that was they were telling the truth about January 6th, and you know, can't have that. Nope. Can't have any of that stuff. You sound like a Trumper. You got to be a Republican if you believe all that, you know. And it's like there's two sides to every story. Is all I'm saying.
Yep, absolutely. I agree. During BLM protests, there was zero chance the Capitol building could have been breached. And that's another thing too that made me think about it. Like, out of all the people that had died during the January 6th, wasn't it a female that died from a shot, like the police officer shot her going through the window? So that's the only person that actually died. I mean, minus the heart attack, but you can't really claim like a week later a guy had a heart attack because of the January 6th. That's pushing it a little too much.
The worst you could say is that he may have had PTSD, but like I said, it was, I mean, because there were points where people were like, you saw the video of them crammed in the hallway trying and busting windows and stuff like that. That actually did happen. They got it on video, but they weren't attacking people. They were attacking property. They weren't attacking people. And you know, there could have been some
podiums and shit.
Yeah, they took a shit in Nancy Pelosi's office.
Yeah. Yep. Took her name tag.
When else are you ever going to have a chance to do that, right? So you're in there, you know, the cops let you in, you're taking selfies with them. Take a dump in the speaker's chair, sure. That's
right. I would have taken like a huge painting, like one of those giant paintings in there that are like 300 years old. I've been like, that's mine now. I'm going to repaint this.
Just paint mustaches on everybody, you know, or like, you know, like
clown faces
or something like that. Clown faces. Give them those like Mike Tyson face tattoos, you know, kind of thing, you know, on Washington. Exactly. Yeah, son, you heard?
Yep. I was actually jealous. There was that picture of the guy that had the podium in his hand and he's all like smiling, really happy. He's got the podium. I was super jealous. I was like, I want that fucking podium. That's sick. That's way cool.
This shit's going to be on eBay tomorrow.
Right.
I'll come buy it tomorrow.
Yep. You would have been, wait, Shake and Bacon said I would have been looking for secret documents about about UFOs. Oh my God. I would have.
They're not going to have those in the chamber, Shake and Bacon. I see what you're saying, but those are locked away like in the deep vaults. It's kind of like the Vatican Library where you have
all
to
at the Pentagon.
Right, yeah, all that shit is just like, you know, Fort Knox. It might as well be a Fort Knox, you know.
True. John says leave a love letter for AOC. I would totally do that too.
I heart AOC.
Right.
But then you want to be mad.
I would have to look at Pelosi's flying broom. No, I would definitely steal that.
Yeah, because you know she got that little pointy hat probably around there hanging up on the hat rack.
Yep.
You know.
Brandy says that she lives really close by to the guy who put his feet on Pelosi's desk.
I saw that picture, that video of that dude. That was just funny to me. I don't know about democracy being shaken that day, but you know, that guy doing that was a little bit of justice, just a teeny little smidge of justice right there. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, and then you got Nancy Pelosi talking about how she feared for her life because some guy came into her office and put his feet on her desk. Okay, Pelosi.
She had a documentary crew with her the whole time, right? Remember the video that came out like right before the midterms? There was just like she's walking around and they're videotaping everything, and it's all and it's not like somebody popped out an iPhone and started doing that stuff. You know, I used to work in TV production. I know what a professional production looks like, and that was a professional production. Who has a documentary crew on them? Unless it's The Office or Parks and Rec. Who has or Spinal Tap? Who has a documentary crew with you all the time like that? I'm just saying. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Yep. You know what I mean?
I agree. I completely agree. Hell yeah! Like John says, that was a hero move. Absolutely, that was fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
that was the best part.
Feet on the desk, shit in the chair. I mean, that's just lovely. Really
Brandy says he was one of those militia guys. Interesting.
Yeah.
Mitch McConnell might be a turtle alien in disguise.
We were saying there might be a cat planet. There might be a turtle planet. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe.
Well, no, it's a cat universe. Yeah, I should show that to people. That is actually a funny one. So, are you an atheist? Do you believe in anything?
I'd like to think I'm an agnostic at best. I don't know what's out in the universe. Maybe there is some sort of. I think the higher beings are really like more advanced, intelligent creatures that live in the universe that may have come to Earth, and people confused with, you know, they called them angels or they called, you know, whatever, because they could do all this shit that they couldn't do, you know. And it's like, of course, you know, you're going to do that. So I guess, but I don't know what it is. You know, I don't know what kind of thing is out there that would be able to control things like that. So I'm just kind of agnostic.
Mm-hmm. I like to think that too. Like I know that there's something out there that controls things, because sometimes coincidences are too coincidental for me to believe that it's just randomized. But I do enjoy the atheist of randomization and evolution, and knowing that, you know, at least knowing for a fact that at least with the whole life and death, that we know that you're just gonna die. Like there is no nothing afterwards, because we don't know it, but at least we know that the death is coming. Like I like the finality of atheism.
Yeah.
But this guy.
Yeah,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, you know, like with me, it's kind of a hybrid thing. Like, I believe that there was natural evolution that happened. The whole missing link thing, you know, I think because there was such a jump in evolution that was so quick, that it couldn't have occurred naturally. I don't think that was God that did anything like that. I don't know. I'm kind of in the Graham Hancock camp, where he talks about there being ancient civilizations that were so advanced, and then a cataclysm destroyed them and kind of scattered the remnants of people around the planet. And who knows, maybe hominids were subjected to genetic altering and stuff like that, and that's how we got Homo sapiens. Who knows? I mean, I don't know any of that for fact, but it sounds pretty reasonable that something like that could have occurred. You know?
What is the Netflix show for that? Because I was looking for that the other night and I couldn't find it.
It's called Ancient Apocalypse.
Okay.
It's he goes around the world and goes to various sites that Graham Hancock himself is not like an archaeologist or anything like that. He's a reporter, right? He admits it. He's someone who goes around and asks questions, right? So he talks to anthropologists and archaeologists around the country. Like, he'll go find a temple or something like that, but it'll have like these secret chambers underground, and a lot of times the architecture is so advanced that there's no way that hunter-gatherers at the time could have done something so immaculate, like, and so precise with the measurements and the building like that. So it's very fascinating stuff. Like I said, you have to take it with a grain of salt.
Right.
You don't know if any of that's true, but you don't know if it's not true either.
Right.
So
I mean, they even found in Egypt, they found the Baghdad battery. We were talking about that a few days ago. It's like a legit battery that was used in the Egyptian times. How did they get energy to go inside of a battery to make that, to make that work? So they must have had some type of electricity or energy source.
And a lot of critics will say, well, it was for gold plating. They used it to gold plate stuff that wasn't used for electrical lighting. And it's like, well, they still had to have the knowledge of how electricity works, right? And then years later after that, there was no electricity until like people like Ben Franklin came along, and then Tesla, and to a certain extent Edison, who mostly ripped off Tesla. Let's keep it real. That actually was able to harness electricity again like that, So it's like I think there's a ton of lost technologies that probably more advanced than what we have today, that somehow may have been washed away in the sea, or could have just been destroyed and just hasn't been unearthed yet. It's never a bad thing to ask questions like that.
Yep, absolutely. Right. So speaking of questions, so everybody that is an atheist, if you're an atheist, just watch this video and tell me if you think that this is legit. So this guy came up with to me, it almost seems like a checkmate to atheist. It makes me feel like, okay, maybe could be a possibility. This guy came out with a little TikTok talking about it's like the universe gives and distributes cats to people. We'll watch it and then and then you guys can tell me exactly.
Oh, what's the cat distribution system? Never heard of it? Guess you're not that smart. So a lot of you have probably noticed by now that the universe, it distributes kittens to people. It distributes kittens to people. Everyone who has a cat, you know this. The universe will give you a cat sometimes. You'll just be like going to work. You'll take a break. Go outside and there's a kitten in a bush. Now it's your kitten. You now have a kitten. Now you've been entrusted by the universe. It deemed you were a good person. And it's like, hey, you know what? Here's a kitten for you. Sometimes you'll be like, you know what? I want a cat. I'm gonna go get a cat. So you go get a cat. Somehow you have 3 cats now. You had 2 extra cats distributed to you by the system. But atheists are running around here and like, those no real, those no prove it. I see it everywhere. It's the most obvious thing ever. And you guys are just gonna be like, this guy's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Don't I? This comment section is just gonna be flooded of people that the universe gave a fucking kitten to. And I'm the crazy person. This is absolutely
okay, y'all.
And then here's the guy.
It's officially been about a week since I've been a cat dad. This is my girl, Penny. Look at, say hey to the people, Penny.
Hey, kitty.
So pretty.
I am stressing out because
explain the cat distribution.
Probably because this guy's fucking right. Cannot tell me that's not real. You cannot tell me the universe does not distribute cats. After watching that, I am a true believer that the universe gives cats to good people, because both of his explanations are literally my life. I wanted a cat because I had mice and I needed a good mice chaser. I got a cat. About a year later, I'm walking my kid to school. I see this little cat in a bush. She's so fucking cute and she's so little. I could have sworn she was only a couple of months old because she wasn't that big. And I brought her home and she ended up pregnant. And I ended up having to keep one of her sons because he doesn't want to go to another home because he's terrified of anybody that walks through that door. And so now I have 3 cats. And he's fucking right. He's so right.
There may be something to that. The only time when I was a kid, we lived out in the country and we had all kinds of animals, and we had yard cats, right? My mom and dad, they didn't want cats in the house or any animals in the house because of fleas, right? They didn't want fleas in the house. So these cats would always be everywhere, right? And there was a lot of cats. Mom would come out and all she have to do is just shake the bag of food. And these cats would go, it seemed like from miles away, they heard this and they would come in, right? Mm-hmm. So years later, I was in college. I was like, man, you know what? I want a cat. I want to get one cat. Right? So I went to the local shelter, and there was 2 black kitties there, sisters. One was a runt. I said, well, I want the runt. And then I looked at the sister and I said, well, I can't leave the sister by herself. So I took them both. So then I had 2 cats. I went there going to get 1 cat, ended up with 2 cats. So I think that guy may be onto something.
I'm telling you, as soon as you think about having a cat, the universe is like, here, take some. Just have some. Here you go. You can have multiples.
Yeah, and they really do make your life better, right? Because when you're feeling down or whatever, the cat will get in your lap and you just pet the cat and you feel a little better. Or if you need a good laugh, the cat will do something funny, just like make some sort of weird noise or like, start doing that, the machine gun chatter when they see the birds outside. They're just like, yeah, they do compliment us very well. So, dogs do too, but cats, I know cats are very different than dogs. Dogs are very attention needy, right? I like dogs, don't get me wrong, but they like to have a lot of attention, almost constant attention too. Yeah. Whereas cats are more aloof. You know what I mean? They're just like, I want attention. I want attention when I want attention. So the cat comes when it wants attention. Then when it has enough attention, they're like, all right, I've had enough of this, and then they go
Yep.
away. You know?
They're the cool ones of the animal kingdom. They're just like, give me attention. Okay, I'm done. Leave me alone now.
Yeah, they really will. They'll in their way, they'll tell you to fuck off, and then they'll go do their thing. And then if you don't have enough food, if they don't have food in the mornings, you get the wake up pat. Have you ever gotten that where you'll be sleeping, and then the cat will just like walk up on top of you and just kind of go, hey, hey, buddy.
Yep.
Now, it's cute because you know they want food, but if they think you're dead and they don't have any food, that cat's gonna eat you.
Right. Yep.
Shit.
Burton, what he does is if he doesn't have food and I'm sleeping, he'll like come put half of his body across my neck, and then he'll just flop down right on top of my neck, just lay on it, and then he'll turn his head around and he'll bite my chin right here or my earlobes to let me know that he's hungry.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
He's testing you. He's testing you to see if you're awake.
Yep.
Because if you're not awake and that food bowl's empty, guess what? That bed is the food bowl now.
Yep.
So, you know, they're cool. Cats are cool, but you know, they're they got some homicidal tendencies. If
they do,
you know.
do. They're amazing though. Yeah, I think that's why the cats, you've been seeing them so much today, is because I see their food bowl. It's empty right now. No wonder they've been bugging me today. They're like, bitch, feed me.
Be chomping at your ankles. You're like, will you stop? I'll get you some food in a second. Jesus.
For real. That's why they've been attacking my cords and stuff. They're like, I'm gonna bug you until you give me food.
Yeah. And then you give them food and they go crash, and you know the whole cycle starts all over again.
So, all right, I'm gonna do one more video. Do you like Adam Sandler?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
He's pretty funny. He's pretty funny. So he was at an awards show or an awards thing this weekend, I believe, sometime called the 2022 Gotham Awards. Have you ever heard of that?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he got an award for something at the Gotham Awards, and his kids ended up writing his acceptance speech for his awards, and it's fucking hilarious. So I figured we could watch the awards of Adam Sandler.
16 and 14, I didn't write a speech, and they said phrases like rude and you're mean. And I said, well, Daddy's fucking tired, you know. Daddy fucking works hard. Calm down. And they were like, can we write your speech, Daddy? So you got something to say? I said, absolutely. It'd be nice to see you do something other than watch YouTube or go to fucking Lululemon every fucking weekend. So they said, all right, we'll write the speech. Will you do the speech in that goofy Southern accent you always do all your dumb speeches in? I said,
oh, no.
Whatever, we'll give it a shot. So, all right, my daughters wrote this. Let's see how we do. Dear well-dressed dignitaries, highly educated hipsters, and various other plus ones of the Gotham Awards. Thank you for giving our daddy, Mr. Adam Sandler, this prestigious lifetime, all-time, primetime GOAT Achievement Tribute Award, or whatever this frankly disturbing object is supposed to fucking represent. It means a lot to him, seeing as most of the awards on his trophy shelf are shaped like popcorn buckets, blimps, or fake mini Oscars that say Father of the Year, which he sadly purchased himself while wandering in a self-pitying fog through the head shops of Times Square. First off, we would like to begin by apologizing for Daddy's disturbingly unkept beard. He is under the illusion it hides the hamburger grease-covered flesh waves of his triple chin. But to us, it just makes his head look like someone threw black and gray cornflakes on a fucking beanbag. We also wish we could be at tonight's award show with all of you sophisticated people, but Daddy said, and we quote, "I don't want to spend a whole night that's supposed to be about me and my greatness listening to you two newly pubertized buffoons screaming, 'Where is Timothy Chalamet?' And how can we legally squeeze that fine little Jewish ass of his?" But Gotham Awards, don't feel bad for us Sandler girls. Just know while Daddy is with you tonight, we're doing everything we're not allowed to do when Daddy's home. Like eat his yodels or try on his Spanx. Or dare we say laugh out loud at Ben Stiller movies.
Oh.
The last time Daddy caught us chuckling away at the Meet the Parents trilogy, he immediately stormed into the room he calls the screaming room, which we just call the shower, and bellowed out the phrase, "Only the Sandman makes people laugh. Fuck every other comedian." Daddy's Sandler film career began in 1988, formed by two guiding principles. People in prison need movies too, and TBS needs content to show between all them fucking basketball games. He went on to make the comedic classics Billy Madison, thank you, Happy Gilmore, The Wedding Singer, The Waterboy, Woo! Big Daddy. Which one is Big Daddy again? We asked him one time. The movie with the little cutie who grows up to be Cole and Dylan Sprouse? Daddy responded, "I guess you could remember it as such. Or you could remember it as the movie that paid for this fucking house. And your grandma's house. And your other fucking grandma's house. Rob Schneider's fucking house. And your braces. And Rob Schneider's fucking braces." Daddy also starred in the film classics Punch Drunk Love, the Meyerowitz Stories, The Uncut Gems, and the basketball dramedy masterpiece Hustle. Films that were not only received with orgasmic critical acclaim, but also left audiences baffled as they pondered the mystery. How did Bobby Boucher get all up in my feelings and make me laugh, cry, and sprint directly to church to ask God why he had blessed one man with more talent than the entire cast of the Poseidon Adventure and Mamma Mia combined?
The Poseidon.
Many intellectuals have stated that Daddy did these so-called artsy-fartsy movies to push himself as an actor and human being in attempts to do some heavy-duty, much-needed soul-searching. But we, his children, know he did it for a much more tangible reason, to one day be invited to the Gotham Awards, where he can longingly gaze at least 10 different tables filled with cool, talented, badass artists and say, just how many fucking movies did A24 produce this year? Share the goddamn wealth. Well, it's almost time for us to go watch some more YouTube clips and buy some more Lululemon shit. So we'll leave you with this. Thank you, Mommy, for putting up with Daddy and his crazy fucking mood swings all these years. Now that truly is a feat deserving of a Lifetime Achievement Award. Love you, Mama. I told my daughter.
That is so fucking cute.
Bobby Boucher.
Right? I paid for your braces.
Oh my God.
He didn't even mention. Yeah, he didn't mention Steve Buscemi.
He probably paid for his braces too.
Probably, yeah. I haven't seen.
Yeah.
The serious ones he was saying. I haven't seen any of his serious ones. The Uncut Gem, like Les Bones is saying, or the other ones he was saying right there. I've seen all of his funny ones. None of his serious ones.
I haven't seen Hustle, but I have seen Uncut Gems and Punch Drunk Love. I was you'll appreciate this. So I was pretty stoned when I watched Punch Drunk Love. And if you've never seen that movie, it is very slow pacing. It is a really slow movie. And I fell asleep in the middle of it. It wasn't because it was bad. It was just because it was like, I do that with what is that movie? Oh shit. It was the Stanley Kubrick movie about space.
The Moon movie?
No, not the Moon movie. Not that one. You're obsessed with the Moon movie. Space. What is it? It was supposed to be in 2001: A Space Odyssey. That's right. That movie's slow too. But I did see Uncut Gems, and I would say that is a really good movie. I don't want to spoil it or anything, but it really does twist your emotions. I'll say that. So
okay.
Yeah. So, but I agree. I mean, I was like high school and college with all his. Well, I guess it was more college when Billy Madison came out, because we were quoting that all the time. You know, he'd be drunk all the time, and he saw this giant penguin, and he goes, "It's too hot for penguins to be walking around." You know,
that's the golf movie. Yeah. Or no, the Rich Boy movie where he had to go back to school. Yeah.
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 Yeah, and the Water Boy is pretty quotable too.
You can do it.
You can do it. Rob Schneider.
Yeah.
I know, right? Rob Schneider owes Adam Sandler so much, because he was like in almost every Adam Sandler movie. That whole crew.
Are they even friends anymore now, though? Because like Rob Schneider is like super Trumpy, and Adam Sandler, or sorry, that one guy is a super Trumpy, and Adam Sandler is Jewish. So are they even friends anymore?
I mean, I don't know. It could be one of those friendships where they never talk politics. You know, I got friends like that are like pretty conservative. Some of them are even Trumpers, but you know, we have this silent agreement never to talk about politics or religion around each other, you know, and that's how the friendship works.
You're so lucky.
But I think, yeah, but not many. I mean, there's some that I've lost a few friends with because of Trump.
Yeah, I don't have very many friends. I've just got a lot of family members, and they're not afraid of it because they know I'm not going anywhere. So they're just like, I'll just talk about it anywhere. I'm just like, oh God, just stop.
Half my family's shit libs, and the other half are Trumpers, and they're like there's a smattering of people that there's a few libertarians in there, and then the rest of us are just kind of like apolitical. We don't really like any of those things. We're just independent, you know. So
I got a whole family of Trump supporters, and I'm the apolitical one, the only one. Everybody, even my aunts, are Trump supporters. It's wild.
Yeah, I mean, even though you're geographically in a different place, you're kind of in the same social makeup like where I grew up in, you know, like very conservative areas. Like Mississippi's very conservative where I grew up, and where you grew up, that part of California. People forget, everybody thinks the whole state of California is liberal. Nope. Right? They think the whole state of New York is liberal. It's just it's the cities.
Yep.
The cities are liberal. Yep. But then you get out in the country parts of these big states like that, it's mostly, if not all, Republicans, you know. Yep. So you got to learn how to live with those people, you know, and try to stay away from those landmines of political talk and stuff like that. You know, you start talking about like free health care or something like that. They're like, hey, wait a minute. Y'all damn communists, you try to take away from me and mine. They're like, no, dude, just
All you
use
ever want is
else
free
too.
stuff.
It's like they want it. We want it for just ourselves. Like, no, we want you to have it too.
Right.
It would be free for you. Wouldn't have to pay for it. You get it would be free for you too. You know, you try to involve them, and they're like, you trying to pull the USSR on us, yeah, you know, and drink
But
their
they want free stuff too. I'm pretty sure, like, if some radio station gave them a phone call and said they want a free car, they'd be like, "Fuck yes, I'm on it." You know?
Hell yeah! Those hands-on contests, those fuckers. Every one of them probably is a Trumper. They got their hands on the car, want that free shit, man. You know, it's you know, they just
Weddings prove it. Look at the flower, the bouquet throwing, and how bitches will fight each other just to get the next husband. Come on now, that's free stuff too.
That's funny. I do like watching that. Just like this, you know, I keep hearing the Star Trek fight song when they're battling for it. You know, and they're like got sticks and stuff, and they're battling each other for the bouquet.
Yep. I'm usually the one off to the side with the wine glass, just laughing at them, like, y'all are stupid.
Me and my male friends are just sitting there. The desperation, delicious.
Exactly. That's what I always wanted to know. Like, what do the guys think when the girls are doing that stuff? Like, the guys are like, "Oh, this is easy pickings now. I could just choose whichever one of these girls are fighting for a flower."
Unless you're a boyfriend of one of those women, then the whole vibe changes. You're like, oh, you let get your hands off of that. Stop it.
Right. He's all holding her back from the crowd, like, you can't join them.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I've ever been to a wedding with a significant other like that. So I've never had that experience. But I have seen some fights over the bouquet. Just, and some of them, yeah, it's like, you know, earrings coming off. I know when earrings come off, I know what that means. I mean, there's going to be a scrap. There's going to be a fight for them flowers.
Yep. I threw mine really far when I threw my bouquet. I was like, I threw it really up, really high in the air, and I threw it off to the right. So I see like all the girls running to the right to grab it, and they all missed it anyway, and it hit the ground. I was like, ha, y'all suck. Nobody's getting married. This is my wedding, bitch.
And don't you forget it.
My day. It's 666 today. My day.
I'd be tempted to put like a big rock, heavy rock in there, so when you threw it, it would just go way the fuck back there, and they'd have to run.
That would be fun. One of them gets hit in the head with it. Oh,
it's just bleeding, and it's like but she caught it. And she's like, oh, this is awesome. I gotta go to the hospital now.
Yeah, exactly. And then, you know, her dream comes true, and some guy comes over and wipes it off, you know, gets a little paper towel and wipes the blood off her forehead, and she falls in love, and then they're gonna get married. You know, it's gonna happen. That's how it goes.
That's the way you want to meet, with a concussion. You want head trauma to be involved with romantic feelings, so because that's always a good mix.
Ed Heller wants to know who the funny dude on the right is.
Who, me? Oh, I'm not funny looking. I'm just looking. I'm a looking dude.
You're not funny looking. You're just looking.
I'm just looking. I don't know what's happened. I don't know any. I got kidnapped. I got hit in the head with a bouquet of flowers that felt like a rock. So, now I have a concussion.
That's right. Meow, I can't play anything. I am now officially 2 minutes over time. So I'm just trying to waste the clock. But I can save that. If you come back tomorrow, I can play it. If it has 1 billion views, though. Europe's final countdown. Right, is it gonna play the song?
This is the first time you and I have ever done a 3-hour stream together. It's usually like 2.5 hours.
Yep,
So
this is the longest.
It is. It went by quick too. It's very quick.
Yeah, that's why I was happy to do the 3 hours and not the 4 hours. Because right now we're looking at the clock, like we're 3 minutes over, so it's done. With that 4 hours, I was looking at it and I'm like, fuck, I still have another hour to waste. Holy shit, how was I able to do this? Yeah,
What
by
will I
1, I'm like, I'm
do?
finished. Yeah, by 1 o'clock on my time, I'm done. I'm done.
I was gonna say if you were still doing the 4 hours, you just for the last hour you just do like some crocheting or something like that. Just not say anything. Just let people watch you crochet for an hour. You know,
That would be fun. Then I'd have to
It-
pull out my
it's-
crochet stuff, and I don't want to crochet right now. That shit's boring. All I know how to do is make beanies and scarves. So
you see in the comments just nothing but Z's, Z, Z, Z.
that's right.
ASMR. You're just going. You know that sound that it makes, that the knit on knit thing. I don't know.
I got the mic for it, so we could do it. Shit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You got that super mic. You've got
I
that
know.
BBC.
That's right.
Yeah, there it is. Oh, you gonna break a tooth.
I didn't even hit it.
You're so stupid.
Let's Bones go for another hour. Your afternoons go by fast. You're very welcome, John. Thank you for stopping by. All right, we ready to say our goodbyes?
I love you. I love John.
Shake and Bacon says croquet hour. Let's go.
Not croquet.
No,
You
crochet
got-
hour. Yeah, probably a mistype.
You get the mallet and the ball and just play. You're out in the backyard just playing croquet.
That would be fun too.
Croquet.
Hey.
Yeah, just watch me play croquet for an hour. That's it.
Exactly.
That's what you get.
Exactly. Wait. Meow says, I wonder if he was in the sex industry too. Who? Am I missing some? Is somebody typing in the comments that I have blocked that I can't see because I have no idea what you're talking about?
Well, it's not me. So
Are you sure?
I mean, I've had sex, but I wouldn't call it an industry. It was more of like an unintentional hobby that I rarely got to do. Now, if they were talking about masturbation, that's totally different. That's a scenario. That's why I don't show my arms, because one's bigger than the other.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah.
Man, yeah. I got what's his name from Family Guy, the neighbor. Giggity giggity giggity.
Quagmire when he finds porn.
It's got the one regular arm, the other one is like this huge, muscled up. Yeah, that's
you.
I don't show my arms.
That's right.
Anywho,
okay, let's say goodbye to everybody and let's get off of here so we can play some video games. All right. Thanks, Shake and Bacon, for coming by. Thanks, Les Bones. I hope to see both of you guys later on today if you can make it. Cape Socialist, good to see you again. Meow, thanks for stopping by. John, of course, good to see you. Ed Heller, good to see you again. Holly, thank you for stopping by. Brandy, thank you for putting your input in here. I love everything. You and your 7 cats are like awesome people. So I love you to death, Brandy. Thank you for stopping by. Am I missing anyone? I know there was people at the beginning. I just can't see them anymore. Yona, thank you for coming by. Edward Cortez, I don't know who you are, but thank you for stopping by and saying hi. Truly appreciate you. I hope today was a fun, good day. Warren was kind of last minute, and I'm super excited about it. I hate being on here by myself, so thank you. Willie Braggs, thanks for stopping by. And anybody else that I missed, thanks for stopping by. Amber, Nikki, what are you doing? Are you all right?
I want to make sure the guy in the machine back there is doing his job. These birds are floating in midair at the garbage dump. I think there's chemicals in the air.
That's right. You're flocking with the seagulls today. Okay, so Les Bone, do you still have a couple hours before you got to get off work and then an hour and a half commute? Okay, you thought today was going to be Fred Durst. Yeah, did you see his Twitter thing when I was like, it's a I was like, I got a guest. It's a secret. Shh. He's all, is it Fred Durst?
Why does it always go back to Fred Durst?
Because they know how much I hate Limp Bizkit. And they always torture me.
Yeah, that's more like Fred Worst. Am I right? Yeah, Fred Worst.
I like that. I'm stealing that from you.
It is open source. It is all yours. Please
Okay.
take it as you will. So
Ed Heller said you stopped time. Yeah, I know. The 3 hours went by super fucking fast. It's crazy.
yeah, it was so fast the birds and the trash dude back here couldn't keep up. So
Exactly. We're on
we're
Matrix
just
time.
moving really fast. That's why it looks like time has stopped, because we're moving really, really fast.
Yep. You got anything coming up that you want anybody to check out?
Yeah, well, you and me Saturday night at midnight for the secret show. Shh, don't tell nobody. Actually, tell everybody. We want you there. Right after Political Matrix and Beauty and the Boomer, we are the official after party for your Saturday night experience. And
then Yona's the after party.
Yeah, how does he do that? Because he always passes out during our show.
I know.
Does.
That's probably what it is.
Halfway through.
Yeah, he'll take naps on our show, so he's ready for his show.
You'll see like a whole bunch of people at the beginning, and by the time the show is over, there's like the hardcore that have remained. Yep. And usually Yona's just like, nah, fuck it, I'm too stoned. I've smoked too many weeds.
Mm-hmm. But you still have the same numbers, though. Your numbers don't drop. It seems like what they do is they watch you and then they just leave it on and go to sleep.
I know. Maybe we're helping them sleep. So if weird sex toys puts you to sleep, I am not gonna kink shame.
Exactly.
That's just the thing.
Exactly.
Coming up Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, Keaton Weiss and Russell Dobular from Due Dissidence are going to be on. There are a couple of New York boys, so we'll be talking New York stuff. I believe Russell has a theater background, so we'll be talking about that and just whatever fun stuff we could think of, why they got into their show, how they got started, that kind of thing. Their Marvel origin story, since they're fresh on the scene, so we get to hear that. So, and that's all I got. I think maybe some gaming over the weekend. We'll see.
Yeah. Keep an eye out for my show tomorrow. I'll be back again tomorrow. I am not editing or clipping up today. Today is just as gold as it is, and plus I want some more me time. I'm so tired today. So don't look out for any clips, you guys, today. They're not going to be here. I'm not going to clip this out, but I will be back tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. back with some more stuff. So if you guys got anything you want me to talk about, please send it over to me in the Twitter. You can either send it to me on Twitter at Image Productions, or the other one, which is Jimmy Saves World. Let me pull it up. Where is my name tags? There we go. There's my little name on there. If you guys want me to talk about something for tomorrow or any of the days that I do the news show, please just send me a message. I will talk about whatever you guys want me to talk about. Again, thank you all for coming by today and stopping by. I'm excited. Appreciate it. And hope to see you all soon. Stay high. You got anything to say?
Thank you, honey.